And a very good morning to you. Welcome to the Edinburgh International, including the GB Championships for 2018. Very snowy Edinburgh it is, and we have our first session with heats. We're starting with the longest event on the program. It's the men's 1500 meters freestyle. The fastest heat will be swum in the final session tonight, containing the likes of Daniel Jervis and a couple of the Spaniards. But time for me to welcome, I'm Bob Ballard, by the way, time to welcome the two-time 2008 Beijing champion to the commentary box, Rebecca Adlington.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Well, we'll talk about this event as we go through. We will obviously highlight this race as it progresses, but talk about the 1500 now being part of the Olympic program for the women. In your time, obviously just the 4 and the 8, but the 1500 as of Tokyo comes in for the women too.
I'm very glad it wasn't in the program when I was around. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very far, isn't it? Very, very far. But it's interesting here that obviously this is a 4-day meet and they are swimming the women's 1500, the women's 800 here, just in a 4-day meet. And that it's really tough on the distance guys. It is a lot to recover from. At least here they're swimming heat declared winners, whereas normally to do the heats, the finals of the 800 and the 1500, it's a big program, that.
Let's talk about the separation of the two events. Let's talk about your kind of optimum event, the 800 to the 1500. In terms of the way you have to swim those two events, the 800 to 15, what are the adjustments you have to make?
I think it's one of those that you probably, if you swim in the 800, you'd probably choose to either go up or down then. I think if you're an 800 swimmer, you'll either choose, right, I'm going to do the 1500 and possibly do the open water. That's the great opportunity if you are doing the 8 and 1500. And we've seen Jazz Carlin move more into open water over the past couple of years. So you can make that step and do a different event and do something completely different like open water. Or you can choose to say, right now I'm going to do the 200, 400 and then kind of swim up to the 800. I think you're probably having to make that decision. I think it's very, very tough. And only people like Katie Ledecky that are the superhuman ones can probably do all of them. Not many people across the board would be able to do a 200, 400, 800, 1500. That is just too much, and not many people have that endurance as well as that speed element.
Open water never appealed to you?
No, I'm scared of the sea. Everyone finds that fascinating. I'm scared of the sea, yeah.
Serpentine would have been all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I've overcome that fear now, but at the time I was absolutely petrified of the sea. No way. Okay. Kerry Ann used to tell me some horror stories that, yeah.
You're lucky Melbourne.
They never enticed me into the water, unfortunately.
Very nice. All right, let's look at what's happening in the pool then, shall we? The opening heat of the day of the men's 1500 meters freestyle. We only have the 4 in the pool. We have Liam Schnook of Northampton, Bailey Hyacinth of City of Manchester Aquatics, Matthew Wright of Bath University, and Brandon Budd Thomas. Now, you'll remember when you were doing the 1500, how there were always targets for you, wasn't there? Like in the case of the swimmers here, 16 minutes is their target. None of them have been under 16 before, so they'll all be trying to get below 16 minutes. Yeah,
definitely, and I think it's nice that they're all together as well. I think that's the hardest thing with distance swimming is when you're all separated, you kind of just have to swim your own race, and it's really, really tough, whereas here, it is good that at this moment, they're coming up to the 400 metres mark down the back of this length now, that they are fairly close together, and they are going to work each other, push each other on, hopefully spur each other on to get close to that 16 minutes as possible, but it's only 8:45 in the morning. It's very early.
People like Kieran Perkins and Grant Hackett really changed the way this race was swum, didn't they? Because people used to kind of even split it and go, and now a lot of people will go out quite hard at the beginning, try and break the back of the field, and then carrying on from there. It has changed a lot in the last 20 years.
Yeah, and I think you've just got to go with what works for you. I know a lot of people that kind of build up each 500 metres, and then the last 500 is their quickest. Some people, I think it depends on who you're racing and the tactics of kind of knowing, is somebody right a front end speed, back end speed. For me, it was more about even splitting. I find that an easier tactic and easier to kind of do in the training. My turns are the worst, so I found doing the distance stuff, which is really hard, the turns here. But for these guys, I think it's just about getting in. They've all made the snow. They're all happy that they've just made it here. We've already had one John Wright pull out already, and it's only in the first heat because of the snow.
So I was about to say he's local, and he's actually the only Scottish competitor in the field. He's not here.
He's probably, well, let's hope he's not stranded somewhere, but at the same time, these guys, they're probably just happy to get in and race, want to put in a good performance, trying to get close to that 16 minutes. They'll try and work each other, use each other. They're all kind of breathing and looking at each other, staring each other down already, and we're only at 500.
You talk about turns, it's quite interesting now because you talk about your turns. Our British record holder, still from Athens 2004, David Davis, his turns weren't great either. It does seem to be almost symptomatic of our distance swimmers in this country about turns, isn't it? Jazz's turns aren't very good either.
Yeah, it is one of those. I think because the amount of meters you do, and we don't get much rest in training. That's the thing. We only get 5-10 seconds rest. That's it. So I think we use our turns as almost like a recovery, almost like a break, instead of actually using them to our advantage. But I think that has changed. I think skills. I think that's what sports science has really done for the sport, is really help those. And turns was something that I worked on so much. Even my gym work became more orientated to, right, how could it help my turns? And something that every single day my coach Bill used to pester me about, because turns are just so important. And I think people are now realizing how much they can just make a difference of probably about 5 seconds over a 1500 if you had good turns.
Well, this is quite a race, isn't it, between the three on the far side of the pool. Liam Schnook of Northampton, Bailey Hessine of City of Manchester Aquatics, and Matthew Wright, all pretty much in a line as they go into the wall. And in fact, lane 6, Brandon Bud Thomas is just going to get his nose in front. But between the four of them, there is not much to choose, is there, at the moment? It's very, very tight.
I think they're probably grateful that they're using each other, to be honest, and they're just having someone to swim with. They're all kind of staring each other down, and they're all going 5 meters off the wall as well.
Which is good. And let's see where they are at the split. Remember, we're looking for the first sub-16, maybe, of this selection. We are dropping at the moment John and Liam Schnook just a little bit in lane number 3, but the others are pretty much in a line. Looking at the 19-year-old from City of Manchester in 4, the 20-year-old from Bath University in 5. Well, he's made it here. Some of the Bath swimmers haven't made it up yet, but somehow, some way, Matthew Wright's made it, and Brandon Bud Thomas. The fastest in the field, certainly in terms of entry time, but it's only marginal, is Bailey Hessine of City of Manchester with a 16:14.50, but it's only by 0.2 of a second ahead of Matthew Wright, so it looks like that is being replicated in the pool. In fact, the leader has changed about 3 times in the last 200 meters.
They're only halfway through. I think their tactics are coming into play now, isn't it?
So let's analyze the strokes, because freestyle strokes over a longer distance have to be kind of a bit more metronomical, kind of more economical. You don't want to be kind of busting blood vessels at 800, do you?
I think it's really changed in distance swimming, how I used to swim. I remember watching Rebecca Cook and Sarah Hardcastle growing up and those sorts of people. And their strokes are very much a kind of, not so much leg kick, all arms. Rebecca Cook especially had really straight arms. It was kind of that, just kind of military, same stroke rate every single time. Whereas
she
now,
would slap the water quite hard too. If you close your eyes, you could hear her swimming, because she would slap the water all the way through.
It was very much distance swimming was all kind of almost pretty much doing pull, and then you'd turn your legs on the last 100 meters. Whereas I think that's totally changed. And Katie Ledecky is prime example for that, the American swimmer, that she swims almost like a 200 swimmer. She has such a good strong leg kick all the way through, really nice high elbow. I was exactly the same. I had a 6-beat leg kick, better technique. I think the thing is now, because the amount of meters that you're having to do, a better technique will stop those injuries. You'll be more efficient through the water, and I think distance swimming has changed slightly in that sense. I mean, all these three guys here, they're all using their legs. It's not a case of, right, we're just doing pull, which is what traditionally I think it used to be like.
Well, it is, as you see, mighty tight. 0.2 of a second between Brandon Bud Thomas in lane 6 and Bailey Hessine of City of Manchester Aquatics. They were separated on paper by 4 seconds, but not at the moment. And in fact, to a certain extent, they are dropping Matthew Wright in lane number 4. But as Becky just said, she's got a long, long way still to go in this. But these seem to be the two who've got the momentum going. And they'll both be, certainly at the moment, on course for quite big PBs.
Hopefully. I think this is such an interesting meet, as obviously you've got the guys that are swimming in the Commonwealth Games that are not rested. They've not tapered back at all. They've obviously got probably 5 weeks to go until the Commonwealth Games, but then everyone else here, it is the British Swimming Championships. They are wanting to post good times. This is the meet that they've rested back for. So we might see a few upsets this week because obviously not everyone has rested back, but it is going to be interesting because obviously the guys that aren't going to the Commonwealth want to post PBs. They want to get personal best times, especially from their journeys yesterday, I bet.
That 14:45.95 David Davis did in Athens. The British record was, I think, done with a shiny suit, was it not? I think it was, that kind of shiny suit era.
I think it was a bit of a shiny suit,
Yeah.
wasn't it? They weren't in full swing in 2004, but because that was more 2008. But yeah, it was definitely probably ankle suit, wasn't it? Because the men used to wear the trousers to the legs, and Thorpe used to wear the all body, didn't he? So yeah, it was probably part shiny. We'll give it to Dave though.
I'm sure Dave will be looking in, see what's happening in terms of the new clutch, if you like, of 1,500-meter swimmers that will be coming through for the future, and just trying to take over the front of the field at the turns. Get to look at his time. It's going to be, we're getting times at the other end of the pool, but yeah, these two are still pretty much locked together. And they will be when they turn this time, as you can see for the indication, 9 more lengths to go. And look at that, absolutely level. On the turn, absolutely level, 11:22.55. We cannot separate at the moment the swimmer in lane 4 and the swimmer in lane 6. And 2 lanes away, you are obviously aware what your opponent is doing. If you're about 4 or 5 lanes away, you're probably not. But these two can actually eyeball each other.
Definitely can. I think that always helps. It's nicer to be able to kind of look across, have somebody pushing you on. Both of them will be thinking ahead already to try and touch each other out on that last length. Who's got enough left in the tank? Obviously, there is no final for these guys because they're just swimming it as the fastest heat in the finals tonight. So they know that this is their only chance to post that, to try and get a personal best time. So they'll definitely be wanting to touch each other out. They have dropped Bailey a little bit now. He's still there though. He's still in the mix a little bit.
Well, these two are really pushing on. In fact, if anything, as they're coming in, there's probably just a little bit of a gap opening up. Let's see what the clock indicates as they touch, because they were absolutely level last time they came down this end. But you see, there's Brandon Bud Thomas of Swansea who has just got the advantage. If you are trying to work out here, lane 1 is nearest to us, lane 8 is on the far side. But this is going to be quite a scrap to the end, and this often happens at a 1,500. You think, well, the longest event, you don't often get great finishes, but often you do get the best finishes in 1,500 because they just won't give up until the last 50.
Yeah, you definitely get a really good finish. I think it is because you are holding a little bit back. You always kind of have that little extra gear to go to that you kind of know that, right, can I touch that person on the last length? I think you kind of always have that in the back of your mind. And that's what the training's for as well. For a distance swimmer, you are in the pool 20 hours a week. You are doing 70+ kilometers in the pool a week as well. So that's what all this training is for.
Might have a new leader when they turn next time, because you can just see that Bentley Hessing is just putting in a little bit of a burst here, and there's not going to be much between the two of them when they come into the wall. Who's going to get the touch first on this? Very, very tight between the two of them. And you can see the distance is only 4/100ths of a second between first and second at this stage. Very, very tight indeed. But the swimmer on the far side from City Manchester Aquatics is really going for this now.
Yeah, I think Brendan's using his tactics a little bit here, trying to push on probably a little bit earlier, trying to get that edge. I mean, they have dropped Matthew a little bit now. He's kind of fallen a little bit further behind, but they've only got kind of, how much have they got left? 200?
Yeah, well, there'll be 3 to go when they come up this end. So that was the turn for 200. It'll be 150 when they come up this end. But again, the lead's going to change hands. This is a really captivating race because nobody wants to relinquish the lead, but they keep doing it every 50. There seems to be a bit of a change. There's not been more than about 0.4 of a second between them for about the last 300 or 400 meters, and they may be absolutely together when they come into the wall again. Let's look at the clock. How much is there between them? Look at that, 5/100ths of a second between first and second.
I almost feel sorry for whoever comes second here.
It's massively tight, and they keep putting little bursts in to try and break the back of the other one. The other one then responds, And this has been a great head-to-head. Who is going to come out on top? I wouldn't want to call it when they're coming in for, when they come around next time, it'll be 2 lengths to go. And they can hear the bell for the last 100.
There is no greater sound, I can promise you, as a distance swimmer, as hearing that bell or that whistle, whatever it is. It is just music to their ears.
So, right, let's go for it, boys. Last 100 of the 1,500 meters freestyle. And closest to us, Bailey Hessing looks like he might just be pushing on a bit, because you remember the gap was only, was it 5/100 of a second when they came down last time? It's going to be much more than that this time, unless Brandon Bud Thomas can find something to overtake him. But still not much between them, probably slightly bigger gap. Well, 9/100, so I was right in calling it that, but it's only by 4/100ths of a second. But come on then, call it for me with 75 to go.
Oh, I think Bailey's got the edge here. He's turned his legs on. He's just kind of pushing through, but he's facing this way. He's breathing this way, so he has no clue. That's kind of a really difficult one to do, but he just wants to probably get his head down, put his hand on that wheel first.
What they both want is personal best, and I think they're probably going to get, one of them is going to get in. It is, the winner is Bailey Hessing. Look at that. He has just missed out on his personal best by half a second.
Yeah, Brendan did a couple of second PB though, so I think he'll be more than happy with that, especially at this time in the morning. You've got to be pleased with a morning PB.
Yeah, you just kind of think, I suppose, you look up the clock and think, right, what did I do? Did I actually do a PB then? You miss out by, in a race of that length, half a second. You kind of think, was it worth plowing through all the snow for a half a second like that?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And the finishing times then, we saw John Wright did not start. And Bailey Hessing of Manchester will get the winning time, 16:14.94. In the end, it was only 0.2 of a second between him and Brandon Bud Thomas. Brandon Bud Thomas with a new personal best by 3 seconds. And third was Matthew Wright with a 16:25. Right, do we have a full contingent for this? I mean, look, it's nobody in lane 1, I don't think.
No.
So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all there. So Jack Bonsall is not with us. The rest, however, are. I'll run through those for you. They are on screen. Will Riley of Bath University goes in 2. Jacob Goodman of Millfield in 3. Will Bell, another one of the juniors from City of Leicester, goes in 4. Max Murphy of City of Milton Keynes in lane 5. Jamie Scholes, another junior, 18 years of age, from City of Peterborough in 6. Ryan Reeder of Davencio in 7. And Max Tambling of Hamilton goes in lane 8. In this field, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 swimmers who have been sub-16 before now, and a couple right on the cusp of getting under 16 minutes. This could be a very competitive race. Fastest in the field is Will Bell with a 15:49, Max Murphy with a 15:56, and Jacob Goodman also with a 15:56.
I think this one's going to be interesting, as obviously we've got 4 guys that are all the junior level. This is a qualification for European juniors, which are later in the year in July. So the juniors have coming into this, they will be fully rested, fully tapered back, because they are wanting to make European juniors. It is one of those that is an important thing. I remember going to European juniors and it was a huge honour to go, and it is kind of that stepping stone in your career. It is that turning point that you think, oh I'm kind of progressing here, and you're doing really well, making teams, and it is very, very difficult to even qualify for a European juniors now. So they'll be all of them are wanting that qualification time.
I remember doing European Juniors of, I think it was 2003, where the likes of Laszlo Nemeth was in there. So they came out, this guy went, oh, he's really good. Still around 15 years later, still competing 15 years later, Laszlo. It's
very true. My European Juniors, I was racing Lottie Fries, and I raced her throughout my whole entire career, right up until the London Olympics. So a lot of the guys that you meet at European Juniors are the people then that are at the Olympic Games in 4 or 5 years' time and continue your career with you. And it is really nice because you make those friendships. And I had a 10-year friendship with Lottie, which was amazing. Even though we were classed as rivals, we weren't, because we met at European Juniors, we got on straight away, and it was always kind of, we had our journeys together, and it was really nice.
Tell me how that works then, right? Because you're obviously trying to beat Lottie, you're trying to beat quite a few of the others in the field, Belmonte, for example, people like that. How friendly can you get in that circumstance? Because they are rivals, they are your adversaries. Do you want to get that close that you kind of get too intimate for those things? And they kind of know your intimate secrets?
No, it's kind of one of those that it is, sometimes it's very hard due to language. Sometimes that is a barrier of trying to become friends with them. But especially like the Aussies, we're really good friends with the Aussies. We go over and train there. I mean, a lot of these guys have just come back from Australia that have been on training camps. Jazz Carlin has been out there on training camps for a couple of weeks. So you do make friends with them. So it is like a reunion. It's really nice to see those guys and train together as well. It's always nice to train. I went out and trained in Brisbane for 5 weeks and I absolutely loved it. It was just a change and it was just something different. So you want that, but at the same time, sometimes it's not always the case if you are. I think some of the guys probably think a little bit different because men are a bit more like rivalry, and whereas the girls are like, hiya. I remember, well, my best friend is Joe Jackson, and we raced together, and we used to sit in the call room and just chat absolute nonsense, and our competitors were looking at us going, what are you two talking about?
But you'll race each other in 2 minutes' time.
I know, but as soon as you dive in the pool, that goes, and obviously, and for me, it was always a case of if I wanted Jo on the podium, and if I wasn't up there, I definitely would have wanted to see her up there as well. So you do create friendships with these people. You do become like a family. I mean, you have to see each other at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
you do become a bit like family.
But you also watch the way they train. You must pick up some nuances from that and think, oh, yeah, I could be doing that. Or you might see like arm position in the water or whatever and think, yeah, I could be adjusting that because that's working for her. That could work for me as well.
I think that's what's so great about being a junior level is that you do pick those things up. These guys that are going for European juniors will just watch how each other prepares for the race, pick little tips up, and that's what is so interesting at a junior level, especially seeing guys like Adam Peaty round poolside, James Guy. They'll be really picking some tips up and kind of just watching how they are, how they warm up, how they stretch and things, and getting that knowledge, because that's what being a junior is all about. And then you find the thing that works for you, and then you stick to it, because I think that's what goes as you become a senior swimmer, because you know that you've got to stick to what works for you.
We have a whole collection of men at 1500 level, all about the same kind of level, don't we? We can all do just under 15, pretty much. We need something to break out of that pack. We've got about 4 or 5, all doing 1502s, 1503s fairly regularly. Just need something to step up that extra notch maybe now?
Yeah, we've always had that history, I think, with Dave Davis. Then we had Daniel Fogg. We've had Jack Burnell, who's a little bit more open water. We've got Tim Shuttleworth. We've kind of always had a really solid history at it. But like you say, never somebody to just quite kind of break through. And obviously the last time was Dave Davis, like you said before, getting that bronze in Athens. So the boys team is so strong at the minute as well. The boys, I think it always changes. Sometimes we have a really strong girls team, sometimes a strong boys team, but we have got a really, really strong boys team. So hopefully someone will break through on that distance event.
Well, we'll see how this one progresses. At the moment is Jacob Goodman of Millfield, another one of the sub-16 swimmers I was talking about. Will Bell in lane 4 is the fastest, and he's right alongside him. In fact, Will Bell is starting to come through into second place, about 2 body lengths between the swimmer in lane number 3 and lane number 4. As you can see, the gap is about 1.5 seconds between Goodman and Bell. Max Murphy of City of Milton Keynes is in 3rd place. That's how it is in the 1500. Just run through the rest of the program for you because we can get a chance to do that at the beginning. Next up, it will be the women's 100 fly, followed by the men's 100 free. We'll see our British record holder in that. I think, where is he? Yeah, lane 4 in heat number 11 will be Duncan Scott. So that's a very strong field, that, actually, when you look at Elliot Clogg's in there, one of the most improved of the swimmers at Loughborough these days. He goes in that heat as well. Women's 200 free, which you dabbled in from time to time, did you not?
Every now and again. A little bit too sprinty for me, even though I think some of the sprint boys would argue that 200 is not a sprint.
So 200 free for women, and we'll see Ellie Faulkner go in that, and Holly Hibbert as well. Men's 200 fly, up off that. James Guy, of course, that's one of his new events in a way, isn't it? That's one he's going to be putting much more store into. We'll be kind of looking at that as one of his main events in the future.
I think it makes sense, I think, for James, especially after the Worlds last year, getting that bronze medal in the 100 metres butterfly. His butterfly is so strong that he's got to do it, hasn't he, at Commonwealth. See what's in the tank.
50 backstroke after that for women, followed by the men's equivalent. We'll see Chris Walker-Hebburn going that in heat number 9. And then Hannah Miley, who will be doing at least 25 events this week. goes in the 400 meters individual medley. And she will be up against Maria Belmonte, who's here in lane 3.
Yeah, obviously with it being Edinburgh International, it's great to see some of the guys that have come over from Spain. The Germans are here and just kind of getting involved in that mix. And especially for someone like Hannah, because Hannah's so consistent. Hannah's always up there, whereas it's nice that she's got kind of somebody to really challenge her and test her this meet.
So let's see what's happening in this men's 1500 meters freestyle, heat number 2. And you can see that Jakob Goodman's just about hanging on. Will Bell on paper is faster, but today not at the moment. But they're still, what, halfway through the race. There's plenty of time still yet to go. Jamie Scholes in 3rd place for the city of Peterborough. And if anything, just look at the gap now between lanes 3 and 4. It was quite extensive between 3 and 4. It's probably a matter of body length of just a bit more now.
I think these guys are prime kind of example of how it's changed. I mean, they've all got really nice high elbows, really nice leg kick. They've kind of all doing at least kind of 3-4 kicks off the walls as well. And obviously all of these top 3 guys at the minute are all going for European Junior selection as well. So that'll be in the back of the mind. Obviously they'll have other opportunities because they'll be racing other events, but this is something that kind of they're hungry for that success and hungry to make that team.
Keep an eye on the splits because it's getting closer, or seems to be getting closer between these two. 1.04 was the gap when they turned last time. Let's see whether that's extended or not between Goodman and Bell. And in fact, it's no, it's come down a bit. It's come down to about a second between Goodman and Bell now. So he's just edging into his slipstream, but not appreciably. And just at the top of your picture, a couple of lanes up from them is Jamie Scholes of Peterborough, coming into 3rd place.
I think tactics are definitely something on these boys' minds, for sure. I think it's one of those for a 1500 that you don't want to go out too fast. And it's really hard for morning heats as well. I think a lot of people don't appreciate how hard it is to stand up in a morning. Our bodies, we're not quite fully awake yet. And you always...
You train at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like midday for you now.
I know,
it's like the middle of the day.
You always race faster in an evening, I always think. Well, most people do. It is that's why the finals are in the evening.
Yeah,
so
but do you not win both your gold medals swimming at 8:30 in the morning, UK time?
I know, but that was different because it was different times. But yeah, no, it's true. It is true. To be honest, that's what really shocked me about Beijing, and that's why we did see a few less world records at the Beijing Olympics, and why I was so shocked I broke the world record in the morning, because I just didn't expect to even swim that fast. Yeah. But I went faster in the 400 meters heat, which was in an evening, than I actually did in the final, because swimming in the morning, it is a lot harder. You're still yawning.
Well, these two boys are not yawning. They're going pretty well. In fact, they're going very, very well, and they're going side by side at the moment as well. Looking at Jakob Goodman and Millfield in lane 3, closest to us. And in the adjoining lane, you can see the gap was over a second about 150 meters ago. And now it is down to less than a second. And these two will be virtually side by side, I think, by the time they come back up the pool again. And just to say, keep a close eye on what's happening with Jamie Scholes in lane 6, because he's not being dropped either and is coming back into the picture a bit more.
Yeah, it's hard when you're kind of over the other side of the pool to kind of get a feel. You almost wish sometimes if you were over that side, you probably would be able to kind of spur on a little bit more. And it is one of those things as distance swimming, it is very, very hard to swim on your own. I found that very difficult because you do swim faster when somebody else is next to you. You have that extra little bit. You kind of can go to that different gear, push on a little bit further. So it is hard, but at the same time, these guys, they can all see one another. I think the pool's nice and open. You can see a row of kind of coaches and other swimmers all waving them on side of the pool as well.
How much of that do you hear? How much of that do you see? Do you have peripheral vision, or are you just looking straight down the lane?
I used to see a lot. I always used to look for my coach every single time I breathe. I think that's the bonus of front crawl as well, that the fact that you can see around you. Obviously, if you're doing backstroke and breaststroke and butterfly, it's much more difficult to see what's going on around you. But that's the bonus with front crawl. All these coaches, they're doing signals, they're whistling, doing leg kick movements, telling them to pick it up. And you do see that. You don't necessarily hear. I give you that. Okay. You don't necessarily can't make out what people are saying, but you can hear kind of background noise-ish.
Okay. So when they go hit, 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 all that, you don't hear any of that. So it's pointless.
No, you do hear like noise, but it's more like just muffled noise. It's not clear. If somebody said pick it up, I wouldn't be able to make out that.
You go no, What'd you say?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Sorry, what was that?
So I didn't catch that. Could you just repeat it? Right, so these two are absolutely locked together, as we suspected they might be, because the gap was getting closer and closer and closer. And the gap will be infinitesimal when they turn this time. In fact, look at it. 1/10 of a second. In fact, Will Bell has now gone to the front of the field by 1/10 of a second from Jakob Goodman. And about 5 seconds adrift is Jamie Scholes in lane 6. But the man who is fastest on paper looks like he'll be the fastest today because he's starting to break the field open.
Yeah, they've totally swam different tactics. I think Goodman's tried to kind of go out a little bit harder, kind of break the field early on and wanted to kind of hang on, whereas Will Bell is kind of just picking up the momentum slowly. It's almost like the first 500 was just his little warm-up. Maybe he missed warm-up. Maybe the snow got to him.
Well, he's 16 years of age, so he's the youngest swimmer in this field. The rest of them are 18 or older, so this is quite impressive. David Davis came through at about that age, and he was at the Commonwealth Games 2002. I think he was, what, 15, 16 at Commonwealth?
I think swimmers, well, we're very young anyway, aren't we, swimmers in general, but especially for distance swimmers as well, you do tend to be a little bit younger. You don't necessarily need the power and the strength of the sprint events, which do tend to be a little bit older. And to be fair, I know he's in the pool, but he does look very tall. Well,
that helps as well.
Very long.
Yeah, and didn't work against the swimming of either Grant Hackett or Kieran Perkins either. And the gap is starting to open. It's not a huge gap, because I have to say that all credit to Jakob Goodman. He's holding on. In fact, if anything, he's right alongside him now. So perhaps, just perhaps, Will Bell went a bit too early there.
Well, they've only got 150 to go, so they will definitely be using everything they've got in the tank now. Leg kick, everything will come into play, just trying to break one another. You could really tell that Will has switched it on. He has definitely turned his legs fully on now, making full splash, trying to get Goodman out of the way, really, with that splash.
Well, let's see what the split is with 100 to go. His best time is 15:49.77. So he's probably going to have to do around about 60. No, actually, no, about 65. So there's a personal best for both these boys coming, probably quite a sizable one too.
Yeah, you can't fault that. That's what every swimmer wants, is to do a personal best.
And it always looks better at this distance because you knock bigger times, so you got 5, 10, 15 seconds off this, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think it's really good they've had each other as well. They've been like in the next lane to one another, they've been able to use different tactics, and they're both obviously wanting that European Junior qualification as well.
So 15:49.77 was the previous best time for the City of Leicester swimmer in lane 4. Well, he's going to beat that, and it looks very much like Jakob Goodman of Millfield will as well in lane number 3. I think we know who the winner is. It's just a question of what kind of time he can do. Can he get close or beat that 15:49 by quite a bit? Look at the running clock on the top of your screen. We're looking for 15:49 or better. I think that's going to be a gimme. Just how much can he knock off that 15:49? He's knocked nearly 9 seconds of it. That's a really good performance. 15:49 before today, 15:40.99 today. And Jakob Goodman, who came in with a 15:56, down to 15:43, so he's knocked 13 seconds off his personal best.
That is a very impressive personal best. Very, very impressive.
Jamie Scholes in the 3rd, also 5 seconds better than he's been before, 15:53. And Ryan Reeder, under 16 for the first time, 16:04 prior to today in the 15 club at 15:56.
It's so nice when you dip under that 16 mark, isn't it? Whatever marker you've got down, it is so good to get under that marker.
So the top 4 all go sub 16. Max Murphy with a 16:04, a bit slower than he's been before, but the top 4 all improving on their previous best times. Fastest heat, by the way, will be swum in the final tonight. Daniel Jervis for Great Britain, the fastest time overall, 14:51, up against the likes of Albert Escritz of Spain, and Miguel Duran of Spain, and also Tom Derbyshire of Bath University. They'll be going in the final session today. Right, first women's event. And I gave the esteemed Rebecca Randington a test earlier to say, who is the British record holder in the 100 fly? And she went through about 5 names and didn't come up with the right answer. So I'm surprised. You're the encyclopedia, you are.
No, I would, yeah. Obviously, with it being Ellen Gandy, I had no clue. I would have put Ellen on the 200, but I went through Gemma Lowe, Siobhan Marie O'Connor, and yeah, it shocked me.
57.25 is the record for Ellen Gandy, which was set, what was it, 6 years ago now? So about time it went, to be honest. First of the heats, first of 6, as Lotta Wynne-Jones of City of Milton Keynes in 2, Rosie Morgan Jr. of Aberdeen in 3, Eleanor Morgan of Nofio Clwyd in 4, Gabrielle Melbourne-Smith of Warrington in 5, Megan Allison of City of Newport in 6, and Emily Hames of Mount Kelly in 7. We're looking at the far side. We're looking at lane number 7 because we are seeing a flying Emily Hames of Mount Kelly.
Well, all this heat are European juniors, and they're all trying to get that time, so we knew it was going to be a quick one.
Well, let's see how quick it's going to be for Emily. It comes in with a 101.91, and 103.14 was her previous best. So she's taken over, what, 1.25 seconds off her personal best with that, getting down towards the 60s.
She looks very happy as well, as she should be. A minute and a second and a half in the morning to get that personal best time, it is a huge.
Always try and nail this early in commentary. Is this a fast pool? Because people talk about fast pool. We know Ponds Forge is a fast pool. How does this one relate or convert in times?
I don't know. I've never raced here.
Oh, okay. Really? Ever?
We did our Olympic holding camp here,
Oh, okay.
but it was all our training. I didn't train very well, so maybe not.
Whoa, we should put that right. Maybe we should get you in an event before the week's out. Okay, heat 2 then. Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen, Sophie Freeman of Colchester in 2, Shannon Stott of Hatfield in 3, Isabel Jones, Millfield 4, Chiara Standing of Stockport in 5, Abigail Burr of Swansea 6, Julie Svensson of Kastrup, one of our overseas swimmers in lane number 7, and Emma Harvey of Millfield in lane number 8. Right, so the 50 split, it is lane 1, Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen.
This heat's pretty close. Everyone's just all in line with, now that we're on the sprint events, there definitely shouldn't be a huge difference from kind of 1st to 8th now.
Isabel Jones coming through strongly for Millfield in 4, and Chiara Standing of Stockport Metro as well in lane number 5, and it may well be between these two. In fact, right down below is lane 2. Sophie Freeman gets there first in a 1:02.48. Oh, she's just trimmed her personal best from 1:02.50 to 1:02.48, but it's going in the right direction.
A PB's a PB.
PB's a PB, absolutely.
Don't
right.
knock it, Bob.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Doesn't matter. As long as it's going in the right direction, you don't care, do you?
Not at all.
14-year-old, youngest swimmer in the field there, winning that.
14?
14.
Don't even think I could go 1:02 now.
You don't even remember 14, do you? Heat 3, Yasmin Perry, one of the juniors at 17. We have a 15-year-old in this coming up. Juru Tanier of Plymouth in 2. Maisie Elliott of City of Leicester in 3. Emily Horn of City of Glasgow in 4. One of our Turkish swimmers. I'm going to do my best to do this name. Hilya Kotayavi. Caitlin Hubbard of City of Birmingham in 6. She related. Femke Spearing of Netherlands, and Sophie Yendel of City of Derby is in lane 8. We don't have a lane number 2. We don't have a lane number 5. So our Plymouth swimmer and our Turkish swimmer are not there, so I don't need to mention her name again, which is probably a good thing, really.
Yeah, the two furthest away, I'm not surprised they didn't make it in this snow, even from Plymouth. It's just, that is one trek in this snow, isn't it?
Lane 6, though, is setting the pace here from Swansea Aquatics. That's Abigail Burr, and looking on that angle, it looks like she's got about a body length advantage over everybody else. She comes in for the touch. Best time that she has got before today, 1:02.48. I think she's going to get there first, 1:02.03. So, yeah, that definitely is because she's from Birmingham, that definitely is a Hubbard. Yeah, 1:02.03. And she won that by about a third of a second in the end. So that's a brand new personal best for Kony. No, that's actually just outside her personal best, 1:01.92. But still, decent heat swim, which might give her a chance of being back later on today. On to heat 4. 2 Ellesmere County swimmers, well, should be, but there's no 2, so she's not here. Pia Murray is in 1. No Freya Anderson in 2. That's a bit of a shame. 3, Tane Bruce of Edinburgh. Laura Stevens, the rest are there. Plymouth in 4. Alexander Venk of Germany in 5. Isabel Spindley of Deep Ends in 6. Alicia Wilson-Guilford in 7. And from Denmark, it's Regitze Gard of Kastrup. And it looks early stages like lane 5. Alexander Wenck of Germany will touch the wall just ahead. In fact, Tame Bruce just getting her ahead of her. 28.25 is the split time on that. Getting down to the swimmers who are in and around the 61 seconds mark. Lane 3, Macy Elliott in the previous one, but it's Tame Bruce in this one. Tame Bruce from this very pool, so she knows every single droplet of water in this. So it might help her in terms of her finish. And she gets it. There you go. 1:00.26 for Tame Bruce. She has been under the minute, so just over today, but she still wins that race by about 0.4 of a second. And second place just off the bottom of your screen there, I think. Where's 2? There's no 2. Okay, never mind. There's a 3. There's a 3 and a 4, but there's no 2.
I think for these guys, there's a junior final in the evening, there's a B final, and then there's an open final. So they know they've not got to do too much this morning. They haven't got to kind of aim for PBs with having them finals tonight.
All right, first of our big names. We've got a couple of our big names, really, because certainly up in the northeast, Emily Large is a very big name these days. Siobhan Maria O'Connor going in lane number 3. We'll see what Emily Large does. She had a very good winter up in the northeast with the big events, which I covered during the winter, and she really impressed. Let's see what she can do. 58.62 is her best time, which is quicker than Siobhan Marie O'Connor. Let's see how these two match up on the turn.
Well, obviously, 4 people in this heat are going to the Commonwealth, so they won't be rested back for it. They won't be kind of fully tapered and kind of on their game. But at the same time, they're wanting to put in good swims. They're wanting to race fast. Obviously, 5 weeks to go to the Commonwealth Games, so they're wanting to see what sort of shape they're in.
Well, Harriet Jones of City of Cardiff, entered on a 59.09, is having a very, very good swim up there in lane number 5. She may well take this. And this will be a little bit of a surprise when you look at the other swimmers in the field. Yeah, 59.87 for the City of Cardiff swimmer. Not quite her personal best, but she's beaten some illustrious names there. Second place to Siobhan Marie O'Connor, and third place to Emily Large. All of those under 61. Then Kiana McInnes out of 101.04. Right, on to the last heat of this, heat 6, Alice Thomas.
Haven't seen someone wear a costume for years to race in.
It's a good cosy, isn't it? It's a lovely cosy. And it's Kathleen Dawson of University of Stirling in 1. Julie Morosinski of Germany in 2. Chiara Schlossen of City of Leeds 3. Alice Thomas fastest in the field from Swansea in 4. Harriet West of Loughborough in 5. Lisa Hopkink of Germany, Kaylee Decker of Mount Kelly, and Stefania Nunes of the Netherlands in lane number 8. So what's happening at 50? At 50, Alice Thomas, maybe not surprisingly, at 27.97.
Yeah, Alice has just been seriously impressive the past couple of years, how much she's come on. I think most of the time you associate somebody being kind of 17, 18 when they break through. Alice obviously being that slightly bit older at 28, just kind of stormed onto the scene, and she's, yeah, been one of those. I thought it was her British record earlier. I named her as well in the list before Ellen Gandia.
Yeah, well, she's got a 57.85 entry time, and she's going to win this under a little bit of pressure from a couple of the other swimmers, but not really close. 58.95. That's a very impressive morning swim, is it not?
Very.
58.95. Well, any cobwebs she had have been well and truly blown away with that, because that's the fastest time of the morning. Very quick. Wow, what's she got tonight then?
I think it's one of those things that when you step onto the international scene, you have got to race fast in the morning. So it is great practice. I mean, you see Adam Peaty do that all the time. He always wants to kind of...
he breaks record in the morning sometimes.
He does,
like
doesn't
he? The Olympics, yeah.
It's because you know that when you step onto a world scene, you have got to be swimming close to your personal best in the morning just to even make it through to the final. So it's great that when you do practice that, because I always struggled with that. It's very, very difficult to get near your personal best and do that twice in a day, whereas Alice is obviously wanting to put in that good performance and get close to, hopefully, maybe one day breaking that Ellen Gandy's British record.
Yeah, well, it's in her sights anyway. 57.25, that is. On to the men's 100 metres freestyle. And we have no fewer than 11 heats of the 100 free. Now, let's talk about this. There was a time when 50 was kind of the working time you wanted to beat 50, and then it came down to 49, and now worldwide it's kind of 47 to 48, isn't it, in world terms? Because 50 used to be the mark. It was certainly when I started covering swimming. If you beat 50, then you really were world class. But pretty much anybody now of any record's got to think about 49 to 48s, really.
I think you kind of know that if you're under that 50 mark, though, that you're kind of going to be in relay selection, that you are still kind of in that bracket of being really, really good. I still think it is a good aim to have.
Well, none of these swimmers in heat number 1 have ever hit 50. In fact, they haven't hit under 52, so they'll be aiming to do that in the first heat of the 100 freestyle. Andrew Roy of Bath University in 1, Joe Watt of City of Glasgow 2. Just check everybody's there. No, we're missing a couple, aren't we? We're missing Reg Lloyd and Ross Leslie. But everybody else seems to be in there. Ryan Reeder of Davencio, Hamish Skillman, Archie Goodburn of Warrender are the others. And say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 are all there. So just Archie Goodburn who we're missing. And at the first 50 split, 25.35. Hamish Skillman's got an entry time of 52.68. Blue cap of lane number 4.
I love the 100 free. It's one of my favourite events to watch.
It, though.
No, to watch.
Oh,
I just think
right.
it's like, it's exciting and it's quick and it's like, 50's too short.
So why didn't you do it then?
Oh, I was rubbish, but these these guys are impressive.
52.75, at least she's honest. 52.75 for Hamish Skillman, just outside his personal best, but maybe that will come later on today for Millfield. And second place going to Ryan Reeder with 52.88, and Reg Lloyd with a 52.91. I suppose it comes down to what you discover when you're young, what you're good at, isn't it? I mean, there must be a point where you go, yeah, 100's not for me, 50's definitely not for me, 200, but no, 400's kind of, 400, 800's my optimum.
The thing is, the event chooses you. You don't choose
Does
it. Yes.
Really?
100%.
Okay. But people are converted, because Adam Peters is a good example of that, because he wasn't a breaststroker when he started.
I know, but have you seen Adam do the other strokes? He's definitely more suited to breaststroke.
Well, Mel called Mel called that very early. Went, no, you're going to be a breaststroker, mate. There's no choice in the matter as far as you're concerned. On the heat 2 then, Miles Sturks had a very good start for the City of Leeds on the far side with the yellow cap. He's really going for it. Big start here, 24.85, leading by a couple of tenths of a second from William Bevan and Grant Henderson. See if the young lad from Leeds in lane number 8 can keep this going, because he's 18 years of age and he's really going for it. He's tiring a little bit now, and lane 4 might just be about to take over. Grant Henderson a bit older, a bit more experienced, but let's see whether Sturk can hold on. Sturk is trying his best. He's doing really well on the far side. Is he going to get there? No, just edged out by William Bevan. 52.03 for Bevan. That's a half a second PB as well, more than half a second PB. And Miles Sturk, who came in on a 52.67, does a 52.25.
Can't fault that. Two PBs.
Absolutely. Did Henderson get one as well? No, just outside. So top 2 did. He was just outside of his, but yeah, good start for those two. And Miles Sturk's obviously one of those swimmers who likes to really go for it, because at 50 he was blazing the trail and just about held on. It's a risky way of doing it, mind you, but
maybe he's a sprinter.
It works for some people. Yeah, it probably is. Heat 3. Let's see whether everybody is in place. I think we've got all 8 this time. Yeah. Matthew Richards of Royal Wolverhampton, Miguel Duran of Spain, Jelly Betten of Netherlands. That'll be Jelly Betten, of course, because they're Dutch. Jeffrey Chen of Bath University, Harry Stacey of Aberdeen in 5, Nathan Bennett of City of Manchester in 6, Harley Benches of Wigan Best, and Adam Metcalf of Ellesmere, who's where at the turn. It's going to be Adam Metcalf, who leads at 24.89. This is quite a tight race, about 4 or 5 in the line here.
Ellesmere Titans have come on so much over the past couple of years. Obviously, they've got the likes of Freya Anderson, who's European junior, just smashing it in on the Commonwealth team, and it's great to see kind of those smaller clubs that kind of have had a bit of a low point really come back into play.
Outside smoker again, maybe lane number 8 coming through. Got it, yes. Adam Metcalf with a 52.11. entered on a 52.45. Second is Harry Stacey with a 52.30, so that's a personal best as well. 1 and 2, and Matthew Richard 52.43. Yeah, 1/100ths better than he's been before. So again, all going in the right direction. Heat 4 of the men's 100 meters freestyle. Rory Huggins of Guildford, Ono Rivera of St Andrew, Robert Cowley of City of Manchester, Cameron Brooks-Clark of City of Sheffield. Watch out for that young lad, he's quite a talent. Jakob Carl of Hamilton, who we've already seen. Lewis Fraser of Swansea Aquatics, Samuel Crabtree of Thanet, and James Baxter in lane number 8. We don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're missing a couple. No, yes we are. We're missing 7 and 8 on this one.
I've never seen so many people not here. Oh, the snow.
The snow is accounting for that, but we'll see how this one develops. And expecting to see a decent swim here from Cameron Brooks-Clark. Jakob Carl, though, it is in lane number 5. Hamilton, 19-year-old, entered on a 51.86. We're getting quicker as we go through. These are the sub-52s. And coming in to finish on a 50.86 is, well, that's exactly a second personal best.
That was a great swim. He just blew the field away, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is, you know, we're not talking about tenths of a second. We're talking about a whole second here on a personal best there.
I couldn't even do that over 800, let alone 100.
Come on, come on, come on. In Beijing, I think you knocked about 10 seconds off your world record or whatever it was.
I didn't then do a PB for 4 years,
What was it,
though.
8:14, wasn't it? Yeah. That's right, that number's etched on your brain. Just relate it.
Oh, we've got a full heat again.
We have, yeah. They're all here. Well, the sun's out, you see. People are making it. Eric Frieser of Germany in 1, Jamie Ingram of City of Manchester 2, Jens Kriegsan of Netherlands in 3. They're really testing me here, aren't they? Sian Senior of City of Sheffield in 4, Luke Turley of Hatfield in 5, Brian O'Sullivan of Loughborough goes in 6, and Matt McCusker of Millfield 7. Sam Daly makes up the 8 of Mount Kelly in lane number 8, and this is going to be a very tight race because look, we can't really separate them at 35 or indeed at 40. He's going to take the clock to separate them at 50 at the first turn. Look at that, they're all going into the wall pretty much together here.
That's why it's so impressive. You just see that wave of just that huge thing when they do that turn of how fast they're going, how much they're using their legs, all about tactics, but it's just a seriously impressive race. I mean, Brian's kind of led from the start here. He's really going for it.
Is he going to get caught, though, by Matt McCusker, who's coming right up on his shoulder there. Lane 7 right alongside him.
Oh, he's dying.
Yeah, he is, and I think lane 7 might take it. Max McCusker might just get there first. No, he's going to get beaten to it. Yes, he is. Ooh, good call, Bob, in the end. 51.69 for Max McCusker. Second is Luke Turley, and third is Brian O'Sullivan. So 51.69 for Max. New personal best.
That was quite a face he just pulled to the camera there.
Yeah, I think he's quite happy with it. Well, 6 100ths in the right direction. Now, young man you mentioned, in terms of the 1500s, doing the 100 here, if he's there. Tim Shuttleworth. Yeah, there he is. I think in lane number 1. Get the wide shot, we can tell you for definite then. There you go, there he is. Closest to your camera. Tim Shuttleworth. We normally expect to see in the 1500. See? It can be done, 1500 down to 100. He's showing it, look.
Obviously. I couldn't do it, so credit to you, Tim.
And Bart Summerlin of Netherlands in 2, Thomas Flower of Richmond in 3, Dan Wallace, better known as an IM swimmer, really, in lane 4, Rafael Miroslav of Hamburg in 5, Luke Robbins 6, Luke Kroon of the Netherlands in 7, and Thomas Fallon in lane number 8. Wouldn't it be great if Tim Shuttleworth went on to win this? I don't think he's, well, he might do, you know, but no, I think...
We know he's not going to die off, are we?
No,
we know he's got the endurance.
He should have plenty in the tank, but lane number 5 is showing the way here. One of our German competitors from the Hamburg club, Rafael Miroslav, who is a junior, and might just get beaten to the wall, will he? Yes, by Dan Wallace, with a 51.48, and his best is a 51.31, so that's not a bad heat swim at all for him. Not really knows, although of course the 100 free is part of what he does.
See, Tim Shuttleworth second though. That is impressive for a 1500 swimmer.
51.51, is that his best? No, not far outside it. So Goes through the gears. 1, 2, 4, 8 and 15. Heat 7 of 11. Brian Milema of Netherlands in 1. Lewis Barker, Millfield 2. Carl Chisholm of Stockport in 3. Harry Constantine of Hatfield in 4. Alberto Lozano of St Andrew in 5. William Cole, City of Bristol in 6. 7 is Lewis Kerrod of Leicester, and Sebastian Overson of Kastrup goes in lane number 8. Again, we've got a full contingent here, and we're looking at the swimmer closest to us in lane number 3. Carl Chisholm had a very good start. Is he going to keep it going? The swimmer in lane number 6 is coming through strongly. That is William Cole of City of Bristol. But lane 3 still keeping up the momentum is Carl Chisholm of Stockport Metro. I imagine he's some of you know fairly well, your Stockport connections.
I think because he swims with Holly Hibbert as well, distance girl, we knew he wasn't going to die off.
51.03 for the Stockport swimmer. So, yeah, that's a 7/100ths. Better than he has been before, which Sean Kelly is very happy with.
I think with having the junior final, the B final, and the open finals in the evening, it obviously gives these guys an opportunity. But with having 11 heats of 100 free, they are really having to kind of push themselves just to make this final. It isn't just that there is a couple of heats. So hopefully we'll see him back tonight. Yeah,
it looks like it. As we move on to heat number 8, Atlas Guerrero of St Andrew in 1. From Germany, Christian Diener. And Thomas Kingham of Loughborough in 3. Jordan Hughes, University of Stirling in 4. Callum Bain of Ireland in 5. Rhys Dunn of Plymouth in 6. Daniel Savage, Northampton in 7. And from Spain, it is Mark Sanchez in lane 8. We are missing lane 4. We're missing Jordan Hughes. Another one from just up the road.
I think it's harder to get from around Scotland than it is anywhere else.
Well, as we found, coming a mile and a half from the hotel to here was pretty problematic. By the way, if anybody from Top Gear is looking in and you want somebody to do your challenge on the circuit, Rebecca Adlington is your woman.
I got us here safe and sound.
Yeah, fantastic. A lot of the people weren't making it up the hill. Rebecca Adlington most certainly did, which is why we are here. We're seeing the conclusion of the latest heat of the 100 freestyle, and Callum Bain of Ireland clocks the fastest time at 51.49. Second is Daniel Savage of Northampton, 18 years of age, and third will go to Thomas Kingham of Loughborough. Heat 9 will contain, again, one of our more kind of distance swimmers, really. Callum Jarvis going in lane 4 in this
200 boy. Yeah, he's really a 200. That's not distance.
There's a woman who knows. David Thompson of Swim Ulster in 1. Scott Millay of University of Stirling in 2. I better check he's here because quite a few of the Stirling swimmers are not. Let's have a look. Nope, he's here. Alexander Kunet of Germany 3. Callum Jarvis, we mentioned. Miles Monroe in 5 for Bath. From Perth, it's Stephen Milne, Cameron Curl of Bath University in 7, and Max Noasad of SG Stat goes in lane number 8. And we're talking about them being all together. You could put a rope across here, and they'd be pretty much in line, wouldn't they? All 1 through to 8.
I mean, Scott, Callum, Stephen, Cameron Curl, they're all going to the Commonwealth Games. It's kind of, we've got such a depth now that obviously they're all part of those different relays. Obviously some are Scottish and Welsh and whatever, but I think for the relays, 100 frees really come on, because obviously people are wanting that spot on the 4x1 medley doing the freestyle, but also to get them relays better. We're so strong at relays at the minute, so it's great to see.
Stephen Milne has a 49.99. Not this morning, but 50.67 it is for Milne, who wins that. Cameron Curl in second place. Callum Jarvis in third. So all our international swimmers coming 1, 2, 3 there. And 4 is Scott McClay with a 51.51. So they were all around about the 50 mark of their entry times there. On to heat 10, penultimate heat of the men's 100 meters freestyle. Couple from University of Stirling. Just check across the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All present and correct. Good. Daniel Jones, Swansea in 1. 2 is Lewis Burris of Southport. Kieran McGuckin of Edinburgh in 3. Jordan Sloan, Ireland in 4. David Cumberledge of Edinburgh 5. Federico Berdiso of Mount Kelly in 6, Martin Walton, University of Stirling, and Craig McLean, University of Stirling, in 7 and 8. And lane number 5's got off to a flyer. That's David Cumberledge of Edinburgh University, but also down below us in lane 2, Lewis Burris of Southport. And they are your early 1 and 2. Keep an eye on Lewis Burris, the 18-year-old from Southport. He won't have a 50-metre pool to train in.
Wow. He's really going for it.
He certainly is. And 50.08, so he's never been under 50. He's desperately trying to get there, you know, and he's not holding back at all. Is he going to get there? He's going to go. Oh, look at that. Oh, so tight. 50.09. He wasn't through wanted trying, though. He really put so much effort in there, didn't he?
His personal best is a 50.08 as well.
Yeah.
So just off it.
He's so, so close. And that will come later today, surely, won't it? If he makes it through the final, which I'm sure he will. He's looking up there going, come on. Must have been better than I've done before.
They're all wanting to dip that 50 mark.
Yeah, quite, which we haven't had anybody yet. Every chance we might get it here, though. Duncan Scott, the British record holder, going in lane number 4. Nick Granger, again, better known probably for 2 and 4 really than 1, but see what Nick can do. Going in lane number 6. I know he's here because I was talking to him earlier, so I don't need to check that one. Robin Backhouse of SG Nurkalin in 1. Elliot Clogg, another former Sheffield tour now in Loughborough in 2. Jarvis Parkinson in Loughborough 3. Duncan Scott, British record holder in 4. Jack Thorpe of Edinburgh 5. Nick Granger of City of Sheffield 6. Samuel Irvin of Loughborough 7. And Curtis Coulter of Swim Ulster as they complete the first 50. No lane 7, so we didn't get Samuel Irvin, but everybody else is in the mix. And Elliot Clogg it is, who leads at 50.
I think Elliot and Jarvis, they're kind of two guys that are kind of ones to watch. I think they're ones that are going to be on teams the next few years. Obviously, they've got Commonwealth Games, but I think we're just kind of seeing what they're made of at the minute and just kind of testing those boundaries. But I'm pretty sure they'll be making Europeans, Worlds, Olympics, hopefully, over the next few years as well.
Well, we still haven't got a first sub-50 swim, but that's funny, I've never noticed it. I've watched Duncan quite a bit, how high he is in the water. That's really,
it's like a jet ski, isn't it?
His body kind of floats. His body floats. If you see how high his body is in the water compared to other people who might be semi-submerged, you're right, he kind of floats on the top like a hovercraft. And
he's quick, not necessarily on his best this morning, but obviously he's not rested for this meet at all. No. But yeah, he's super quick when he is on form. 50.93,
so not the quickest of the morning, but getting one over cobwebs who are out of the way. And Jack Thorpe won 51.12. Elliot Clogg after that great first 50, just easing off with a 51.60. Right, we are into kind of more comfortable territory for Miss Rebecca Adlington, and that is the women's 200 freestyle.
I was so shocked to see Amy Wilmot in this heat. I haven't seen Amy do a 200 free for years.
She probably hasn't done a 200 free for years, that's why, but no.
Amy is kind of like Amy. I think 400 medley swimmers, it's like Hannah Miley, kind of swim so many different events. They do 200 breast, 200 butterfly, loads of different events. And in a 4-day meet, they do about 25 races, like you said earlier with Hannah. I'm sure. I'm surprised Hannah's not down, to be honest, to do this one. But
yeah, so that must be. She's there. She's
Hannah's in heat 5.
Yeah, heat 5.
She's in heat 5. Yeah.
I was that would be an oversight if she wasn't in this event.
And they've got 400 medley at the end of this session as well. So yeah, they like to do multiple events, don't they?
Yeah, some big names in here for you. Ellie Faulkner will be going in heat number 7. Catherine Greenslade, the local swimmer, in lane 4 in heat 6. And we will see a few of the overseas swimmers like Melanie Costa and Lydon Munoz, and a few others. Marina Garcia goes in lane number 3 in heat number 4. Just waiting to get the ladies ready for the 200 free. We have 7 heats. We should have 4 going to start in the first.
I knew the British record for this one. When you tested me, I knew this one.
Yeah, Joe's probably looking in. So if you are Joe, busy obviously doing her nappy duties and heaven knows what. Probably no, not too old for nappy duties. Still in that kind of range.
No, she's not 2 yet.
No. So Joe, if you're watching in, welcome to you. We're missing you as ever. So have we got all 4? Have we got a full contingent? Yes, we have. So Alicia Hawkins of Stockport Metro, 17. Katie Matz, you can tell me a bit more about Katie when we move on. Amy Wilmot, University of Stirling in 5, and Rachel Anderson in 6. So tell me about Katie Matz.
Yeah, well, Katie's a breaststroke swimmer, so again, a different one to have down for the 200 free. But I think Sean Kelly, with having Kerry Ann in the past, having Cassie Patton, obviously has that history of freestyle. Now they have Holly Hibbert, so they'll all train together. Katie is somebody that is seriously impressive in the gym, and she's just tough, and she is one of those that is a real hard worker. You kind of can't break her. She's one of those if that sort of kind of mentally tough athletes. So yeah, is a breaststroke swimmer, but her freestyle's pretty good, to be fair.
Very interesting on this one because they've all got very similar entry times. 2:04.8 for Alicia Hawkins, 2:04.6 for Katie Matz, 2:04.7 for Amy Wilmot, 2:04.9 for Rachel Anderson. So there's actually only about a quarter of a second separates all 4 of them here, so it should be tight, you think?
I think with Amy, it's kind of such a good event to do these sorts of things because obviously she is on the team for the 400 IM, so she could always step in, kind of maybe do a relay spot in the morning if she needed to. Also helps with that kind of back-end speed as well on that 400 medley.
Well, she's going for it in the morning. And see that 2:04.7. I don't know when she posted that 2:04.7 because, like you say, I don't remember her doing a 200 free for quite some time. So that may be quite an old time now, but 2:04.7 it is. Let's see where she is at the 150 split, 131.33, and she's about 3/4 of a second ahead of Rachel Anderson. Elisa Hawkins in 3rd. Come on, Katie Matz, where are you? In 4th at the moment.
Yeah, she's like, what is this stroke?
Yes, hang on.
I'm not used to this stroke.
I shouldn't put my hands in the water like this anymore, should I? But it's going to be Amy Wilmot who's powering her way to the end. Let's see whether she can get under that 2:04.73.
Yeah, smashed it.
You reckon?
2:02.6.
2:02.6. Yeah, so that is smashing it. I think smashing it covers that pretty well, actually. And in fact, the top 2, Rachel Anderson 2, also going into uncharted territory at 2:03.24. And she's thinking, she's not even breathing. Look, she's looking happy. Do it more often then.
She's got 400 medley in about an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe she could be another addition to our 4x2 team if she swims like that. Get that time down by a little bit more, and who knows. On to heat 2. That's the 8. Wait till they start before I name them, just in case anybody missing. But no, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No one in 5.
No one in 5. No, we're missing Eva Vicari of City of Coventry. I know they were having problems going up, so I saw things from Adam Ruckwood yesterday, just indicating that they were stuck on the, I think it was the M6 on the way up. Betsy Wizard of Northampton. What a great name that is, isn't it?
Great
Isn't
name.
it? Betsy Wizard. Anna Smale of Ellesmere in 2, Molly Wright of Nova Centurion in 3, Georgina Dennis of Mount Kerry in 4. You can see there's no 5. Iona McLeod of Dundee in 6, Tara Howarth of Edinburgh in 7, and Maisie McCartney, another of the juniors, 17-year-old from Thanet Swim, who I know here in numbers. And they've been very busy on social media the last few days of the Thanet lot, so morning to you.
I want Betsy to win just because of her name.
If she does win, we'll go heavens to Betsy. So first 100 just about completed. And it is the far side, lane 7. Tara Howarth will get the touch at 1:01.30. Second is Georgina Dennis. Doesn't quite look like Georgina on your caption there, but that's why her name is 1:01.88. And yeah, it looks like lane 7 is going to keep this going, although she's now got some company. Maisie McCartney starting to up her stroke rate in lane number 8.
This is one of those events with the 200 that I've really kind of wanted to see the girls get back into kind of doing a really solid relay. I think we've always had a tradition of having a really good 4x2 team across the board, and yet the past couple of years, for some reason, the 200 free girls have just kind of fallen short of that relay. So it would be really good to kind of get back on that, because
it's a little bit worrying at 4x1 and 4x2 level right now, isn't it?
Yeah, for the women, the boys are smashing it.
But the boys are world champions.
Exactly, the boys are absolutely doing so well at it, and obviously the girls have got a good history of it as well, but for some reason it's just kind of fallen off people's radar, I think, the past couple of years. It's
all cyclical. 2008, as we see Tara Howarth winning in a 2:04. That's exactly her personal best as well. 2:04.48. So right on the mark with her personal best. Second place is Anna Smell. Yeah, it's kind of cyclical because going back 2008, it was all about the girls. It was all about you. It was all about Joe, all about Fran, people like that. There was a portion of the latter part of sort of 2007, 8, 9, where it was all about the girls. And obviously you had people breaking world records and stuff like that. And the men were hardly in the picture. And it's kind of come full circle again, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to go in those
Really
waves.
strange.
But I think some events we do have history in, like men's breaststroke, women's distance free. So it would be nice because we have got history with the 4x2 to see the girls kind of getting back on form. But I think most people are either doing the 100 or the distance. I think 200s has just got a little bit lost for the girls. I mean, Ellie's kind of come down from being a 4 and 800 to do the 200, Ellie Faulkner. So hopefully some of the other girls like Holly Hibbert and things like that will start doing that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth. Just need to get it to kind of world standard. It's on its way, but not quite there yet. Heat number 3, Amy Grant in the pool for Loughborough. Hannah Kutchler of Potsdamer in 2. Millie Sansom of Wickham in 3. Madeline Crompton of Stockport in 4. There's no Athena Clayson. Jimena Perez of Spain in 6. Femke Spearing of Netherlands in 7. Another one of our Dutch swimmers is Silke Holkenborg, goes in lane number 8. They come to the conclusion of the 100. Who's doing what and where? Madeline Crompton is the leader. Only one to go sub 1 minute on the first 100.
That is out quick, isn't it?
59.41, pretty quick.
Well, these guys, they've just done an altitude training camp out in South Africa, so they'll all be kind of ready and rearing to go. They've all kind of tapered back for this meet, apart from Holly, who is obviously going to the Commonwealth Games. The rest of the Stockport Metro team have tapered back and rested for this. So obviously Katie, it wasn't necessarily her event, this 200 metres freestyle, because obviously she is a breaststroke swimmer. So it's great to see kind of the Stockport guys, they kind of are on form and in their own territory.
Well, I'll be interested to see what kind of time Madeline's going to do here, because she's done a sub 60 split on the first 100. How is she going to bring it back? What should she be looking at for that?
I think it's hard because she's probably on her own, and she knows obviously there is finals tonight. There is that kind of the junior, the B final and the open final. She is a junior, so she is wanting that European junior selection time, but she has got the evening swim.
That's a great personal best for her, and a personal best by nearly 2 seconds as well. 2:02.18. That was good. She backed up that sub 60 with a 62.
Yeah, great morning swim. And obviously with the finals tonight, hopefully she can do another PB tonight.
Yeah, very good. She's won that by 2 seconds. Full 2 seconds over Millie Sampson of Wickham. Jimena Perez of Spain in 3rd, but 2:02.18 is our quickest time of the morning, I think. Very good time indeed. As we move on to the next heat, which is heat number 4. Again, just a quick look across. Everybody in place, so I'll give you the 1 to 8. Laura Setz of Netherlands in 1. Juliette Cassani of Plymouth in 2. Maria Garcia of Spain in 3. Monique Olivier of Luxembourg in 4. Laura McNabb of Team Bath in 5. Laura Stevens, Plymouth 6. Emily Horn 7. Polly Holden in 8. And should just mention Team Bath in lane 5. Great job Chris Alderton's doing down there to get these young swimmers through, and they are improving in leaps and bounds.
Yeah, Bath are a great team across the board. I think when you have people like your Jazz Carlins, your James Guys there, it's kind of great inspiration for these juniors, watching them train every single day.
Let's see how this one shapes up. Lanes 4 and 5. Oh, the two at the moment who are in the mix. And they are Monique Oliver and Team Bath's Laura McNabb. So it's kind of underlining what I was saying about how Team Bath are improving all the time. She's got an entry time of 2:02.84. Let's see what the split is. Yeah, again, 2 under the minute this time. Monique Olivier of Luxembourg and Laura McNabb. Let's see what Laura McNabb can do. 17 years of age. I think she's one of the swimmers that Chris has targeted to do great things. And she's in 2nd place at the moment, and just trying to track the Luxembourg swimmer, who's got a comparable entry time, 2:02.82 compared to 2:02.84. A bit more of a rolling gait on Laura McNabb. Luxembourg 1, Bath 2, 3rd place to Polly Holden of Nova Centurion. Last 50, and that's where the Luxembourgese is going to push on, I think, for a quick time.
Yeah, she's kind of come through. Laura kind of probably isn't backing it up just as good as Monique is, but at the same time, still a really good heat swim. And obviously, with Laura being that junior, she knows she's got the junior final tonight, where hopefully she can swim well tonight.
Let's see if we can get a time around about the 2:02s here. I think it will be something like that. Yeah, 2:02.71 for Monique. Holly Holden sneaking into second place there with a 2:03.56. It's a new personal best for her. Entered on 2:03.84, and third is Laura McNabb with a 2:04.42. Hopefully putting in the tank for later on today. Now, we mentioned Hannah Miley, the first of many, many appearances, and there she is. Of course, got a 50-metre pool to train in the back end of her career. All those years she trained in that tiny pool, and now all of a sudden she's got that wonderful pool in Aberdeen. I bet she wished she had that 10 years ago.
I bet she did. Love Hannah. I saw her this morning, gave her a big hug, and yeah, she's just, I still find it crazy that me and Hannah are the same age, because she's about half my size. But yeah, she will be doing about 1 million events, so I'm sure we'll talk lots about Hannah this week.
She is a pocket rocket, and she is in lane 2. Sophie Smith of St Thomas in 1. Freya Anderson is here, and there she is in lane 3 from Ellesmere. Lucy Hope of Edinburgh with a 1:58.85. That's quick. Line Munoz of Spain in 5. Camilla Hattersley, City of Glasgow, with a 2:00.60. Ealing's Georgina Boyle in 7. Leah Crisp of City of Leeds in lane number 7. This is, well, she would be. Who we're missing? Georgina Boyle we're missing from Ealing, but everybody else is in place. And it looks like at the moment, lane number 4, Lucy Hope with a 1:58 entry time.
Yeah, for these guys, obviously Freya, Hannah as well, but Lucy as well. They've all got the Commonwealth Games. So again, they won't be rested for this. They will be just kind of wanting to put in some good times, obviously for the relays as well as their own individual swims. Lucy does a number of different events as well. So I think for them, it's just getting in. Obviously, Freya pulled out the 100 metres butterfly that we saw earlier. We did wonder whether she was here or not, which luckily she is here. So yeah, it's just a case of probably wanting to focus on those freestyle events. She is more suited, Freya, to the 100 metres. So it'll be interesting to see what she does tonight in the final over the 200 metres. 2
in this field have gone sub 2 minutes before today. Lucy Hope with a 1:58.85, and Lyda Munoz of Spain with a 1:59.99, and Lucy Hope leads. Munoz in 4th place at the moment. 2nd place is Hannah Miley, and we always know she comes strong at the back end of a race. She's doing that here too.
I think Hannah knows that probably in about 40 minutes she'll be in that 400 medley, so she'll be saving something in the tank for the finals tonight, I'm sure.
But in the centre of the pool is Lucy Hope, and she is not. She's now under pressure from Lionel Munoz, leaving it rather late, but I think it's going to be the Edinburgh swimmer who gets there first. No, just edged out by Freya, in fact. 2:02.36 plays 2:02.37. So only 1/100ths between Freya and Lucy, and Lionel Munoz with a 2:02.60. So the top 3 separated by just a quarter of a second.
I think these girls know that it's not particularly fast, is it, this morning? So they know that they just kind of swim through the morning rounds and just, yeah, have their second swim tonight.
Siobhan's back. Here she is again in heat 6 of the 200 free for women. Don't have a lane 3, so Beth Aitchison of Loughborough is not here, but Imane de Jong of Netherlands is. Siobhan's in 2. Catherine Greenslade at a 1:58 entry time is in 4. Melanie Costa of Spain in 5. Laura Riedman of Germany. 7 is Laura Van Engelen, and Elizabeth Harris in 8. You'd have raced Melanie Costa, wouldn't you?
I have, yes. Many a times.
You got the better of her most times, though, didn't you?
I've also been retired 6 years, though, so
yeah,
I think she should beat me now.
She was about the same age as you, isn't she?
A year younger.
Okay. So the first 100 being completed of this heat of the 200 free. And we're looking to the centre of the pool. Lanes 4, 5, 6, and indeed 2 are all fairly closely in line. Let's see who's going to get to the wall for the first 100 split. Oh, 58, 2 58s actually. 58.55, 3 58. 58.55, 58.83. So this is actually the quickest heat we've had so far by about a second.
I think Catherine's one of those really interesting ones because I didn't massively know that much about her, hadn't heard that too much about her either. So making that Commonwealth Games team and kind of introducing herself. It's always nice at this stage in the 4-year cycle that we talk about on the road to Tokyo and everything, getting to know these kind of up-and-coming swimmers. And she's got a fantastic technique, to be fair to her, and it's just really nice to see her going for it here, laying down that marker, not kind of letting anything stop her this morning's heat. Because like we've said before, it's really hard then when you step on the international scene. You have got to swim fast in the morning to make it through, and especially in events like this, it will be tough at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, let's see how close she can get to 2 minutes in the heats, because nobody's really been knocking on the 2-minute door. She's going to be there or thereabouts. Let's see. Oh, she's done it. Yes, she has. 1:59.65, so our first sub-2-minute swim of the morning. And bear in mind that her best time is 1:58.27.
That's a great morning swim. Really, really good.
And Siobhan Marie O'Connor with a 2:01.60. And her best is 2:00.78. So the top two there, not that far away from their personal best in the heats. Watch out.
Siobhan's been miles faster than that. Siobhan's been a 1:56.
Yeah, that's her entry time though. So
but, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, but Catherine Greenslade, 1:58.27. That certainly could be in her range later. On to final heat, which contains Ellie Faulkner with a 1:56. So she is fastest in this field on paper by quite some way. We don't have a lane 3, so Eleanor Jones of Swansea not with us. Abby Houston of City of Sheffield in 1, Georgia Coates Bath in 2, Ellie Faulkner I mentioned, City of Sheffield in 4, Holly Hibbert of Stockport Metro in 5, Jessica Jackson, not to be confused with Joe Jackson of course, Plymouth Meander she's from, in 6, Maria Belmonte in lane 7 from Spain, and Lulu Voss of Hillingdon in lane number 8. Good to see
Lulu Voss, what a name.
Yeah,
that's a great name.
She would do shout later on for us. But Maria Belmonte, again, somebody that you know pretty well.
Yeah, she got the silver in London. She's always been really, really good at kind of the 400, the 800, 400 medley, 200 butterfly. She's one of those like kind of
Miley, just
does so many events that you're like, how are you impressive at everything? But yeah, she's one of those that is always really lovely. And it's great to see Ellie looking on form here as well. I think Ellie was one of those that did used to do the 800 and 400 more and kind of really moved down to that 200, and obviously has an entry time of 1:56, which is a really, really good time. So going into the Commonwealth Games, if she's close to that, hopefully she'll be on that podium.
Yeah, 25 years of age now, Ellie. I think she's got her sights set on Tokyo in a couple of years' time. At least I hope she has, because she's a very important and invaluable member of our GB squad. And she leads at 150. Holly Hibbert in 2nd place, Jessica Jackson in 3rd, and Georgia Coates in 4th. And Maria Belmonte, I think, just having one of those kind of morning swims, really. Just get the snow out of her hair.
She always is a back-end swimmer, Maria Belmonte. It's like, if she's anywhere near you down the last length, she'll beat you. I think you know that going into it.
You hate people like that, don't you? Okay. Just
will.
Go away. Irritating person. Right, the finishing now. Ellie Faulkner, 2:00.71, so not quite as fast as Catherine Greenslade, or indeed Siobhan. But again, she'll save that for later. And Belmonte, you're right, look at that. She suddenly crept up to 2nd place. She was 6th at the turn. She's 2nd at the end. How does she do that?
I told you, you don't want to near you on that last length.
Ridiculous. It's like somebody gives her a jet pack or something, and off she goes, you know. Last 50, yeah, no problem, I'll catch you up.
She's like one of those wind-up toys. She needs like the first length to kind of wind up, and then she's just off.
Now, seriously, here is an event that has not moved on in British swimming for the last 10, 12, 14 years. Now, remember, 2004, Steve Parry, bronze medal, Olympic Games. Since when? What has happened to the men's 200 fly? Surely that should have been the inspiration for a generation to come.
Well, we had Michael Rock, didn't we, after Steve? And then all of a sudden it has disappeared. But then somebody answered our prayers, and that person was James Guy. Someone heard us talking,
but
saying
I want more than just one. I want 2 or 3. Like you've got in the men's breaststroke, where you've got 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, you would have thought that the 200 fly, the way Steve did it, we had James Hickman before that.
that would kind of been the catalyst to inspire those to come along afterwards. But it doesn't seem to have happened, you say, with the exception of Michael Rock.
I think it's been always one of those tough ones because the selection policy, the times, you look down the list and you think, oh, that's an all right time, that's doable. Whereas actually the men's 200 butterfly has been such a hard time on the selection policy to just even qualify.
Blame Mr. Phelps for that.
Yeah, so it's just been one of those really, really tough ones for athletes to hit because we have had people like your Cameron Brodys and things like that, but then it's just been so hard for them to make the team that I think even they've started to give up because they've thought, what's the point?
Well, let's see who can break out, aside from James Guy, who we'll see a little bit later on. Men's 200 fly first heat has Tony Joe Trett Oliver of University of Stirling in 1, Edward Mildred of Northampton in 2, Mark Elric of City of Glasgow 3, Harry Lewis Mitchell of Stockport in 4, Santos Villalon of Millfield, Tudor Putzet of Swansea, and Ben Hooper in 7. In fact, we are missing Tudor. Everybody else seems to be in place. We'll come up to the 100 split and see who might possibly be close to their personal best. We have all 6 are actually in the field on 2:06.
Should be fairly close then.
Yeah.
200 butterfly is one of those that I just think just looks painful, doesn't it? It's just a...
Yeah, what, you mean the old elephant on the shoulders or the piano on the back or whatever you want to call it?
It is a hard event, and I think that's...
And why is it so hard? Go on, tell me, for those who've never done it, there'll be loads of people looking on who wouldn't touch butterfly with a barge pole. I mean, you've done it. Not selectively you'll have done it, I'm sure, in terms of training and stuff, but what is it about the butterfly that makes it so difficult?
It's just a hard stroke in general, isn't it? But it's also about kind of the rhythm, the timing, you're underwater, like the turns are so important on a 200 butterfly. And you feel all right in the first 100 metres, but that second 100 metres, oh, that elephant, like you say, that just hits the back and you're just like, I can't move. And I think it's just because you need that rhythm. But I think, like going back to what we were saying before, not enough people are probably specialised on the 200 fly. I think a lot of people do the 50 or the 100, but have never really, really focused. And even James Guy, yes, he's brilliant at it, but even he doesn't focus his efforts. You tend to see some of the medley guys moving into it. So I think it's just one of those that no one has really fully probably specialised in it.
Good swim by Ben Hooper. Entered on a 2:06.61. Well, he has knocked 2 seconds off his personal best there. Good job by Ben. Good job by the Hillingdon setup. And second place was Edward Mildred of Northampton, also with a new personal best. I think the same goes for Santos Villalon. It does. All the top 3 there with new personal best improvements on their time. On the heat 2 of the 200 fly for men. That's your lineup. 1, 2, 8. We'll see Jacob Carl back again from Hamilton. And we are missing lane 3. Freddie Clampett from Plymouth does not seem to be there. Everybody else does. Sorry, not Freddie Clampett. That is Kane Murcott of Royal Wolverhampton. Having problems getting here from the Midlands, it would seem. Eric Fries with the fastest start from Germany in lane number 6. And as mentioned, Jakob Carl already swam this morning from Hamilton. He's going in lane number 8. So the first 50 split is going to be William Slawson, 21 years of age from Reking College. In fact, he and Eric Fries of Germany level at the first split. Coming up to the first 100. Looking at the orange cap of Jakob Carl of Hamilton, really going for it on the second 50 and coming right through. Not sure he's going to be leading, but he's going to be pretty close to it. Leader is William Slawson of Reking College, German in second place. And as I mentioned, Jakob Carl with the orange cap on the far side, really coming through. Notice on the second 50, he's putting in a bit of a shift, and he is here too. Look, the man on the far side. He's come past the German, and he's come past our leader as well.
We love an outside burner. We love somebody that just bombs the field from the outside lane, definitely. But I think 200 butterfly just looks so hard, doesn't it? I think that's what Michael Phelps and those top guys just make it look so smooth and so easy. And actually, it's not. It is painful. It is a painful event. But that's what I kind of like watching 200 butterfly. I think it is always one of those main events that everyone kind of sits up and watches. Not just because it's Michael Phelps and your Chad Leclos and people like that, but just because it is such an appreciative race. I think that the leader changes so much in a 200 meters butterfly.
This is going to be a very tight finish now. They're spread 1 and 2, and 7 and 8 are pretty much in a line here. So who's going to get it? That's the question. Look at them all coming in together. It's going to be down below. Maybe lane 1's going to get it. I think lane 1 has got it. Yeah, James Woodward. What a finish from him, coming through with a 2:05.75. So best he's done, according to our stats. 2:05.93 before today. Our early leader falling away to second. Williams Lawson, Adam Wilson, and Jakob Carr, I think, just overdid it a bit in that third 50, falling away into 4th place. On to heat 3. And we're missing a lane 6. Stockport. No excuse. If Adlington could be here, so can you. She made it from Stockport. Dominic Waldridge of Exeter in 1. Felix Gifford of University of Stirling in 2. Freddie Clampett of Plymouth in 3. Jakob Goodman of Millfield in 4. Matthew George, City of Salford in 5. Charlie Hutchison of Ellesmere in 7. And 8 is Alfie Kelly of Newcastle, and the fastest start. And the person really trying to set their impression on this one is Freddie Clampett of Plymouth in lane number 3.
Yeah, he had a great start, great underwater. I mean, the lead can change so much. I think we've seen that in the first 2 heats, that just whoever puts their hand on the wall at 100 is not necessarily who wins the race.
No, that's very much the case, but though he's definitely going for it. And he's got an entry time of 2:04.15. They're pretty much all in the 2:04 region here. Gifford, Clampett, Goodman, George, Coulter and Hutchison all around about the 2:04. But the Plymouth Leander swimmer is really going for this big time, as you can see, and has opened up about a 2 body length advantage over the rest at 100.
Well, he's gone out on a 57, so if he keeps this pace up, I think he'll smash his personal best of a 2:04.
I think he will. Question is, can he keep it going? Because, as you were mentioning, at some point that piano stroke elephant will arrive and say, can you take me to the end, please? It's probably just arrived, but look at the gap. Look at the gap in the heat.
That is huge. I can't see, unless it's the biggest elephant in the world, really hitting him. Hopefully it won't.
Oh, elephant and piano about to arrive now with 50 to go. 1:29.92. Well, he is on for what? A 2:02, something like that?
He's going to smash his personal best here. He's having a great swim.
And are they coming back at him? Yeah, look at it. He's going up and down, not forwards now. This is the problem with the 200 fly. You can always detect if somebody starts going up and down and not forwards, unfortunately that extra weight has suddenly arrived on the shoulders, and you can see them catching him. But he's still going to win the race, but he has slowed down appreciably in the last 50. This will be hurting. It's hurting big time. But he gets there. 2:03.51 is his finishing time, and that will be a personal best of just over half a second. So it was worth it, even if he's every single nerve and sinew and every single fibre is now hurting like mad.
I probably wouldn't go out at 57 tonight in the final, though.
But he's got his personal best, and the last 50 will have hurt a great deal. They were certainly catching him, but he held on right until the end. Right, we're not going to see Max Litchfield, unfortunately, this week. And indeed, we're not going to see him at the Commonwealth Games either, because he's pulled out. But here's baby Joe. Here's his other brother.
I'm sure Joe wouldn't like you saying that. At 20.
Yeah, well, here's the younger brother of the two. Here's Joe, but a great swimmer in his own right. He really has come through in the last 12 months.
Really come through, both of them. It's such a shame for Max, obviously, to have that shoulder injury and pull out of the Commonwealth Games, but I'm sure he'll be back fighting fit and have his mind set on Tokyo.
Well, Joe goes in lane number 3 for this one. We've got Jacob Jackson in 1, Sean Campsey of Glasgow in 2, Joe's in 3, Jacob Peters of Poole in 4, Ramon Klentz of Germany in 5, Ryan Brown of City of Glasgow goes in 6. 7 is Thomas Downs of Exeter, and Bjorn Kamen of Hamburg in lane number 8. So who is doing what? And we'll go to the wide shot at the moment, be able to tell you exactly who is doing what in terms of the first 100. And it will be the swimmer in lane number 5 from Germany, Ramon Klentz, 56.22. Jacob Peters with second place. At the moment, Joe is back in 3rd, but I don't think he's going to stay that way for long unless the German's really powering on here, which he looks to be.
I think Jacob Peters is one of those kind of new youngsters coming onto the scene. He's only 18, hoping to obviously probably go into the European Juniors, but he has made the Commonwealth Games. But it's really nice to kind of get to know some of these junior guys, and hopefully he will fill that void that you're after, Bob. Maybe he is the answer to your prayers for this men's 200
Well, he's 18
fly.
years of age, yeah, 18 years of age, and hopefully he is just what we need, a 1:57 entry time. Roman Klein's got 1:58, so on paper, this should be a race for the swimmer in lane 4, but at the moment, the swimmer in lane 5, the German, with a 1:58.43, is going to win this by quite some distance by the looks of things. Maybe he's going to go for it. Maybe he's going for a bit of a time trial himself here, because he's really going for this, isn't he? Maybe the Germans have said to him, right, go out there and post a time in the morning.
No, he is hurting a little bit here, isn't he?
Well, 1:59, so he has gone sub 2 minutes, 1:59.94. Boy, did that hurt. Second is Jacob, sorry, I've got Jacobs and Jacobs here today. Got some Jacobs and some Jacobs. He is a Jacob, 2:02.72. And third place going to Joe Litchfield with, in fact, we've got joint seconds there with Jacob Peters and Jacob Jackson, 2:02.72. And Joe Litchfield with a 2:04.62. But sub 2 minutes for our German swimmer, Ramon Klens. 2 more heats of the 200 fly, last of which will feature James Guy. We've got an interesting range of people here. We've got India represented, we've got Germany represented, we've got Ireland represented. So we've got Archie Goodburn of Warrender in 1, Tom Bealey of Aberdeen in 2, Sajan Prakash of India goes in lane 3, it's like we're back at the Commonwealth Games. 4, Alexander Kunert of Germany in 4, Brendan Highland of Ireland in 5, 6, me, I suppose he didn't know it, Michael Gunning of Stockport in 6, Jamie Wilkes of Leatherhead in 7, and Max Jameson of Thanet Swim goes in lane 8. They've completed 50. Our leader is from Ireland in lane 5.
This one's a much closer heat already. I mean, you can tell when you're getting down to those last 2 that it kind of, the gap isn't as huge as it, but it's one of those that is going to be interesting to see what James Guy does in the next heat. Is fairly new event for him, I would say.
Yeah.
So
he's not the kind of swimmer to hold back, though, is he? I think James generally, especially probably hasn't swum for a bit. Maybe we wanted to post a decent time and just say to everybody, look, I've arrived here. I'm on the 200 fly scene now. You know, don't think of me as a 400 and 200 freestyle anymore. I'm a 200 fly swimmer now.
of course he would. James is a born racer.
Yeah.
That's what we love about him.
And his 100's not shabby either, but he'll have to swim it differently to how he swims the 100, will he? Because otherwise he will blow up if he swims it like he swims the 100.
Let's hope he's got enough in the tank from all his 400 freestyle training. But these guys, they're in such a line here. It's going to be an interesting last 50.
Michael Gunning is coming through in lane 6 alongside our leader from Germany, Alexander Kunert. Now, can Michael Gunning catch him? Because he is certainly trying to in lane number 6. And also coming up beside our leader is Sajan Prakash of India. But certainly the swimmer in 6, Michael Gunning, is catching my eye. Now, Gunning's going to overtake him here, I think, with the last 15. Now, Gunning has a 1:59.83. No, he's not going to quite catch the German. German's going to come in first, 2:01.39. Archie Goodburn in the outside lane from Warrender with a 2:01.64. And third place to Indian swimmer, Sajan Prakash, with a 2:01.92. What's he shaking his head? Not happy with that?
He's not happy.
What's his entry time? 1:57. He's about 4 seconds outside.
They've
Right.
got the final tonight.
Couldn't be bothered to shave then, James?
He's not rested for this. I'm surprised he's not in just his trunks.
Won't be getting his Gillette sponsorship this week then. Bath University now, of course. James Guy in lane 4. Sam Daly of Mount Kelly in 1. Sam Horrocks, City of Manchester 2. Matthew Donville of Warrington 3. 5 is Federico Badiso, Mount Kelly. Thomas Payne, City of Manchester 6. Callum Reid 7 from Edinburgh. 8 James Baxter. Seriously though, we know how good he is on the 100 fly. We've seen what he's like on relay splits and stuff like that. The adaptation from 100 to 200, what does he have to do? Just kind of mentally reel in, say, right, don't go for broke here. You've got to keep something in reserve.
I think that's what makes James so good, because he always has that easy speed, and we've seen that over the 100 metres, that he is good at that. So that easy speed is always there, that we talk about, that you need to get out there and to get amongst the race. But actually, he's got the back end speed of that. I mean, I would have always said the 200 free was better than his 400 free, but we know he has the endurance there, that base level, that he can come back. He's not going to, hopefully, no elephant is landing on James Guy anytime soon. But his butterfly, I just think, seems almost effortless. And I mean, butterfly is such a technical stroke. We see some people breathe in every stroke, some people breathe more to the side or every two, and every single person's different. I don't think there's something that works for absolutely, right, you have to do this. But with James, he just manages to just make it look effortless. He's so efficient with it. And his tactics as well. He's such a born racer that I think that's what helps him. He's very similar to Adam Peaty in that way, that both of them that just love to race and they just want to get involved. And we saw after Worlds last year, I can't say James is the best dancer. Can you remember his little dance that he did, Celebration? But we know otherwise he has good rhythm and good pace and good tactics and everything else, but not quite sure on his dancing skills.
Well, so we're partnering you on Strictly anytime soon, is he? Let's be honest. But he's looking good in this, and I like the way he's bouncing off the surface of the water. Everything looks to be pretty streamlined. Everything looks to be pretty much where it needs to be. He's been working very hard on his 200, and he's going to go sub 2 minutes here, which is a good start to the day. 1:59.30.
That looked easy.
It did look easy. Looked very easy. And a good, nice, even pace on that as well. Easy for him to go out the first, as he did on the 400 when he did the freestyle. Sometimes the 200 was just a bit too quick. He thought, you're not going to hold on to this for the next 200. Well, in terms of pacing his 200.
I've never seen that hat before. I think he's got his own branding.
Oh, get you.
I think he's made his own logo.
Oh.
Check you out, James Guy.
Check you out, James Guy, yeah. 1:59.30 for Guy and 1:59.94 for Ramon Clens. Yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed watching that, the new incarnation of Mr. Guy at 200 fly level. I think we'll see a lot more of that to come. Right. There is no kind of heat one. I think we're moving straight on to heat two, are we? Of this. All right, okay. So Sophie Hansen's going to move down into heat two. So we're kind of getting rid of heat one and moving Sophie Hansen down into lane one for heat two of, I mean, sorry, what the event is, yeah, have I? 50 meters backstroke is what it is. So obviously they're at the other end of the pool for this one. And we'll have swimmers from Kastrup, from Plymouth, from Thanet, from Mid-Sussex, Stockport, Teddington, and the Netherlands. I won't go through names because by the time I've done it, it'll be the end of the race. But we will have, because we've got rid of a heat, we will have 7 heats, 8 heats indeed, of the 50 metres backstroke. Kathleen Dawson will be going in heat number 9. Lizzie Simmons will be going in heat number 8. This
is one of those events, because it's an Edinburgh International meet, that they're doing skins tonight, which I haven't seen skins for absolutely
I haven't seen skins
years.
for about 15 years.
I know.
15 years in Manchester, I think was the last time I saw that.
I know. I thought it was fascinating tonight that there's skins events. I was like, love it.
We need to explain for those who don't know what skins, because a lot of people won't even have the faintest idea what skins events are, because they've never seen them. But we'll do that when we've seen the conclusion of this first heat, which is actually heat 2 of the 50 metres backstroke. They've incorporated a bit of the heat 1 into heat 2. So the 50 metres backstroke, British record held by
Gemma Spoff? No, Georgia Davis.
Well done. 27.49, set of the worlds last year. You were there. You were commentating. Well, you were there. you were watching it anyway. So we'll look at this, the far side of the pool. The Netherlands swimmer Britta Kohorst got a 30.47, but actually it's the centre lane that's going to get lane 4. And Sophie Maguire with a 29.81, and that's the first time she's ever been sub 30, and she's done it by half a second. Half a second PB for the Mid-Sussex swimmer. Very good stuff for her in the morning. Yeah, quickly, skins. What is skins in 15 seconds?
So it is just backstroke. They're not doing multiple strokes. It's just backstroke. One person will go out each round, and they'll swim 5 rounds.
So it's an elimination thing, yeah?
Yeah.
And oh, it's two people go out each round, but they basically they get to the end and they go back to the blocks. Start again though straight
The
away.
women will go, then the men will go, so they'll
Right.
have like literally 30 seconds rest.
Okay, there you go. You'll see that later on in the day. We'll explain it a bit more when we see it, but just give you a bit of a heads up of what you will see later on. Right, on to this heat of the 50 metres backstroke. Millfield, Nova Centurion, Cambria, Luxembourg, Mid-Sussex again, Netherlands, Hartlepool, University of Stirling, all in this one. And look at it, they're all right across the pool from 1 to 8. There's barely anything to separate them. It may well be lane number 6. The Netherlands swimmer is going to get there first. It's very tight. And it is actually Alice Goulby of Millfield with a 30.34 for the second time this morning. The winner has got exactly their personal best, 30.34.
Can't complain with that.
No, and she'll probably get a chance to go back and improve upon that later on. There's much less margin for improvement when you've got a 50 than because a lot of that comes from the start, doesn't it? Start's so important in the 50. Although not so much when you're in the water. These new backstroke, well, I say newish backstroke block things are quite interesting, aren't they?
But I think a lot of people used to slip on the start. I think we have seen that quite a bit where your foot just used to slip down, whereas actually to have that bit of a wedge and it just stops you from slipping. And it just, I don't know whether how much faster it makes you. I don't actually know the stats on it.
Well, we've lost one of our swimmers here. We've lost Zoe Corsi of Atlantis. But we've got everybody else in place. So City of Derby, South Ayrshire, Newcastle, Netherlands, Wickham District, another Netherlands swimmer in 7, and Exeter City in lane number 8. Gives us time to conclude this one. It will be lanes 4 or 5. One of them's going to get it. It's 5, and it's Kiara Barber of Wickham District, the 16-year-old. In fact, the youngest of the British competitors in that field with a 30.16. So just outside her personal best, and second to Indy Jongman of the Netherlands, the 2 Dutch swimmers in 2nd and 3rd. Up next, Stockport here in numbers, aren't they? There's a big contingent from Stockport. Pretty much every race I mentioned, it's got a Stockport swimmer in it. Caitlin Bergin, one of the 17-year-olds from Stockport, goes in lane number 4, fastest on paper. Well, there's 2 of them with a 29.9. Her and Daisy Platt of City of Leicester in the adjoining lane. So Southwold, City of Oxford, University of Stirling, Stockport, Leicester, Wickham District, Soundwell and University of Stirling are the swimmers represented here. We have all the lanes in place. And we're looking again to the centre lanes. Now, so 2 swimmers with 29.90 entry times. Caitlin Bergin in 4, Daisy Platt in lane number 5. Anybody going to upset them? Emily Grant's trying to do that from University of Stirling in lane number 3. She's coming into the picture now, but it will be lane 5 that will get there first. Daisy Platts with a 29.99, so right on her entry time, which is 29.90. Only swimmer to go sub 30 though in that field.
Makes it seriously impressive when you see Georgia Davis's 27.49, doesn't it? You think, how have you swum that fast?
Right. Oh, well.
Unfortunately, it's a shame Georgia isn't here this week,
Yeah.
but obviously we'll be back at the Commonwealth Games.
Looking forward to seeing what she can do there. As we move on to heat number 6, which is actually heat number 5, if you know what I mean. So we missed one. Kastrup, Tambo, Bromley, Turkey. Sounds like I'm giving you train destinations or something, isn't it? Ellesmere, Mount Kelly, Swim Gwynedd, and SSG Leipzig. Well, we would have all those, but we don't seem to have a lane 4, so our Turkish entrant may still be stuck at the airport, but she's not here. Everybody else is. Far side of the pool is where we're looking. Maddie Harris of Swim Gwynedd and Lucy Kuhn of Leipzig in lane number 8. Meanwhile, down this side in lane number 2, it's Megan Maybanks having a decent swim, and she will try and race them to the wall. And she will get second place behind Maddie Harris with a 29.62. That is a quarter of a second personal best for our swimmer in second.
Great swim. As soon as they're going to have a 650 tolerance set later tonight with those skins.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, I bet they're looking forward to that. I bet quite a few of them are asking the same question I just posed to say, what is the skins? Mr. Ben Lafferty's just joined us in the commentary box. How are you? Yes. Looking after things at Sheffield now, which is, well, partly looking after things at Sheffield. As we move on to the next heat, which contains Charlotte Evans of Loughborough, City of Sheffield's Lily Bosley. Just talking about Sheffield swimmers. Ireland's Daniel Hill. Germany's Laura Riedman. Anna Main of Woking. Netherlands, Marika Tienstra. Tegan Drew of Plymouth. And Martha Dooley of Colchester. Yeah, they're all in there. And what a great start by the Netherlands swimmer in lane number 6.
Fantastic start. Her head is so still. It's just kind of like, that's what I find seriously impressive. And that's what Georgia Davis does very, very good as well. That really still head, the really fast arms, great start, great underwater. She's just kind of, the rest of the field are joining her slightly here, but she had a great start.
Well, Laura Riedman got it done for Germany in the end with a 29.03. So despite that great start from our Dutch woman in lane 6, she didn't win it. She managed to slip back into 3rd place behind Anna Main of Woking. 29.19. Right, 2 more heats to come. Lizzie Simmons going for Great Britain. Now, consider that she first hit kind of international attention when she was, what, 14, 15? So she, you know, she's been on the international scene for what, 13, 14 years now. And I thought she retired, but no, she keeps going. She's changed clubs, but she's still going.
Yeah, she posted, she got early qualification for the Commonwealth Games. She posted a great 100 metres time at the championships when everyone else was at World. So she has kind of, I think, slightly moved down more to probably the 100 metres, but she still does the 200 metres. And Lizzie is always one of those that she'll always put in a good performance, as technically she is a very good swimmer.
There she goes, and are they going to catch her? There she is right in the centre of your picture in lane number 5. I don't think anybody's going to catch her here, are they? She's going to come in for the quickest time of the morning, probably, 28.61. Because since she hasn't done the 50s very often, she's done the 100, and we kind of know her more for the 200. The 50 was always kind of a fun event for her, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was a great swim, especially in the morning as well, when you've got the finals and everything tonight. That was a great swim by Lizzie. Her start was fantastic. Yeah,
she'll be impressive tonight. Let's see how impressive Kathleen Dawson is. Going in lane number 4 for University of Stirling.
Oh, she's put a proper suit on for this one,
though.
For the 100 fly, she just did it in a cozy.
Yeah,
it was just a warm-up.
Yeah, but this is the real thing. For her, she goes in lane 4, City of Peterborough, Germany, Ellesmere, SG Stat, Ealing, Aberdeen, and another Edinburgh swimmer, all in this field, which is complete. All 8, no, there isn't. We lost a 6. So Ekaterina Abramova has not made it from Ealing. I know they're having problems with problems in the weather in West London as well. But lane 4, Kathleen Dawson with a 28.11. She's going to have some pressure here from the German swimmer in lane number 5, Johanna Ross. Now, she's not going to get there first easily, but she might just get there. No, she doesn't. Cassie Wilde gets there first from Ellesmere with a 28.85. She has been a 28.42. And Kathleen Dawson in 4th place, so maybe the COSI worked better. Next up will be the men's 50 metres backstroke. We'll give you the official results, by the way. There you go, 28.85. So Lizzie Simmons was the quickest overall, 28.61 on the morning swim. Cassie Wilde, 28.85. So we had 4 under 29 there. That gives you an idea of who's going to progress for tonight. We have junior finals, B finals, and senior finals. So chances are you probably will get in somehow.
There's a final in there in some roundabout way, definitely.
50 metres backstroke up next. And that's probably one of the easiest questions I'm going to put to you this week is who is the record holder in the 50 metres backstroke?
Liam Tancock.
Thank you. And he is still the world record holder, by the way, in that.
Yes.
24.04, which was set 2009 in Rome, when everybody broke world records.
Shiny suit era.
Every single race was a world record. And Gemma's record has just gone, of course, only just. That lasted 9 years.
Great record.
Gemma Spoff.
Because hers was done in a Speedo laser as well, not in the super shiny ones either.
A lot of people find it very hard to determine which was what in those days. So
Still a world record.
So is that super
Doesn't
shiny
matter.
or not super shiny?
Doesn't matter. Still a world record.
Is that with turtle wax or without turtle wax? Right, 50 metres backstroke for men. We have 9 heats, 9 proper heats. We have the juniors going to improve on their times. Can anybody get under their PBs here? Matthew Ferguson of Working, I'll give you this one because there's only 3 of them. Alec White of Exeter in 4, and Erico Kuna of Plymouth. And we know this is going to be tight because their entry times are separated by 2/100ths of a second. 27.77 for Alec White, the other two 27.79. So don't be surprised if they all come into the wall at exactly the same time here. I think we're going to go for the... Oh, no, I was going to say centre lane, but it's not going to be. Is it going to be Matthew Ferguson with a 27.63? So that's, yeah, by 16/100ths. And I think Alec White has done it too. He has. Yeah, 27.73 brings him down by 4/100ths. So 2 out of 3 there with PBs. Right, on to heat 2. If everybody's in there, which they are, yes they are, all in there. So there's 2 from Holland, 1 from Team Ipswich, 1 from City of Sheffield, 1 from Mount Kelly, and 1 from Loughborough University. Fastest on paper, but only marginally, is Thomas Clare of Team Ipswich in lane 4. 27.66, Charlie Brown of City of Sheffield with a 27.68. But it's the far side of the ball we need to look at. It's actually Benjamin Stagg and Daniel Hall who are starting off best here.
I always think 50 metres backstroke, it must definitely be about the start.
Yeah.
If you've got a good start, you're in with a chance.
Well, it's, oh, hello. Come back. There we go. And the winner was Charlie Brown. Get out of town, Charlie Brown. 27.07 for Charlie Brown. And that is
huge
a
PB.
big PB. Yeah, it is. Half a second and more. Goodness me. Well, whoever's looking after Charlie at Sheffield doing a good job there. 27.07. Down nearly in the 27s. And we have to get down to about 3 heats time before we start getting into that kind of territory. Right, George Lehman of Plymouth will go in 1. The rest of them are Preston, Guildford, Basingstoke, Wickham District, Loftus Dolphins, City of Peterborough, and Bishop Stortford. The fastest in the field is the Basildon swimmer, Samuel Perks, 27.46, 27.49 for Sam Pippin of Wickham District in lane number 5. And that seems to be the way it's going. Lane number 5 is where I'm looking for the Wickham swimmer. Of course, they've got that super-duper, fairly new 50-metre pool in Wickham, and he looks like he's taking advantage of it. 27.41 for Sam Pippin. That's an 8/100ths of a second personal best.
I'd love my race to be over in 27 seconds. I've never experienced that. Splash and dash.
If you had your time over again, which event would you do?
Well, I'd do the events that I did just because I'm rubbish at all the others. But as in the 50, that's the dream, isn't it, to be a sprinter? Definitely. I always say that to Mark Foster. I'm just jealous that I wasn't a sprinter.
Do you know he did the 1500 free once?
He did. He still tells me every single time I see him.
I can't believe it. I'd love to, there's probably no pictures of it. You know, there's probably no video of it, definitely. But to this day, I do not believe he ever did a 1500 free. There you go.
Oh, he tells me enough times.
I know. He's told me plenty of times as well. Anyway, Mount Kelly, Plymouth, Leander, City of Birmingham. Yeah, they're here. Netherlands, City of Peterborough, Edinburgh, Taunton and Sutton Cheam represented in heat number 4 of the 50 metres backstroke. And this is a very, very tight race indeed. Looking at lane 6 maybe, possibly coming through here. Adam Sawkins of Edinburgh. Not quite. It's going to be Eva Staub of Plymouth with 27.19. That's a 15/100ths personal best for him. Yari Greenhart.
I think we've seen Sam Daly in every event.
I think we have. even the women's 200 free. How do you sneak into that one? Right, up next is the 5th heat of the 50 backstroke for men. Prescott, Aberdeen, Western, Oswestry, Prescott again. So the Glasgow, Bracknell and Mount Kelly, if all 8 are in place, and all 8 are in place for this one. Fastest on paper. Well, we've got 2 27.21s here, and 1 27.22 and 1 27.23. So it could be very, very tight indeed. Looking again at the far side of the pool for the early starters. And Thomas Garden and Harry Noble. Look at Harry Noble in lane number 8, possibly on the far side, or closest to us in lane 3. Ollie Willis will get it in a 26.95. So
I think that's the first 26 of
yeah, the first under 27, 26.95 for Ollie Willis, who's never been in that range before. Give us a smile. Go on. Go on.
He should smile.
Camera's on you. Say hello to Mum.
You can't be that out of breath
No.
after 26 seconds.
Right. Okay, 26.95, so that's a good improvement for him. Right, on to heat number 6. Leatherhead, Millfield, Mount Kelly, Ellesmere, Mount Kelly, City of Glasgow, Germany, City of Cambridge. Fastest in the field on entry time. Hasn't been going that way necessarily this morning. 26.93 for Jack Shillinglaw of Ellesmere. 26.95 for Alessandro Badiso of Mount Kelly. And look at this one. All 8 are pretty much in the line at 25. They are at 35 as well. This is going to take quite a bit to sort out. Luckily,
wow.
we have a timing device that does that kind of thing. Lane 4, I think, has just emerged from the pack. Let's see. Yes, 26.73 for Jack Shillinglaw of Ellesmere. So that's a good new improvement for him on his personal best. Thomas Thornley in 2nd. Alessandro Badiso in 3rd place. That's your 1, 2, 3. And we have one more heat to come. Heat number 7 of the... Oh, sorry, we have 3 more. Wishing my life away here. three more heats. Pay attention, Robert. Pay attention. Heat 7 of the 50 backstroke. Yes, we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't see Chris walk ahead, will we? Sorry, Chris, you're not in this. You're not in this anymore. We've ditched heat stage 9. Conor Ferguson of Ireland, 19-year-old, is the fastest in the field. In fact, fastest in the field by about half a second. So, going on the evidence of that, he should go on and win this. Ellesmere, St Andrew, City of Cardiff, City of Glasgow, Swansea, Pioneer 79 and Mount Kelly. And kind of pretty much as we predicted. Centre lanes are uppermost in this one. Conor Ferguson in lane number 4 is not going to win it, though. I don't think it's going to be very tight between him and lane 3. Mate, going to come through for the touch. No, he doesn't. Xavier Castelli getting that for City of Cardiff in 25.86. Now,
personal best.
Yeah, 26.06 was his previous best. So that is a distinct improvement. Good improvement for him. As we move on to heat number 8 of the 50 backstroke. Edinburgh, Newcastle, Plymouth Leander, 2 from Germany, 2 from University of Stirling, and 1 from East Kilbride in the penultimate heat of the 50 backstroke. All in place. So entry time wise, Kristen Diener of Germany with 25.23 should be the one we're looking for, but the best of the British competitors, nobody has actually done a sub 26 yet. It's Perry Gardner of Plymouth Leander. He's in 3, but lane 4, Kristen Diener, very experienced international German swimmer. But the 2 Germans are dominating this one, aren't they, in lanes 4 and 5, although the outside lane's trying to keep up with them. But it's going to be Germany 1-2. Who's going to win it? Oh, it's tight. 5 100ths between the 2 Germans. And in the end, it was actually Jan-Philipp Glania, the 30-year-old, getting the better of the 25-year-old.
The 50s are exciting. I do wish they'd put them in the Olympic programme.
Well, yeah, again, there's been that argument. We've got the 1500 for women now in there, and the 800 for men in there. They're talking about
just made it longer.
Talking about
put the 50s in.
Talking about the mixed relays for the future, and things like that. But
the mixed relays are so exciting. I'm glad they got put in. And this comes from somebody who is a distance swimmer. They should have put the 50 strokes in there.
Yeah.
Mainly because Adam Peaty would win another gold medal.
But then you've got to add 2 days more event. You've got to make it a 10-day program then.
I know, but they're more interesting. They're more exciting. And we have Adam Peaty.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But we can't. Sadly, we can't change the rules to fit our structure. I wish
Why?
we could. Well, that's a very good question. A very good question. One to which I don't have an answer, unfortunately, but yeah. But we ain't going to see him for Tokyo. Hopefully, maybe for Paris, who knows. Anyway, final heat. Chris Walker-Hebben, who's come down from 200 to 100. And somebody will want to get his number. Maybe it's Nicholas Pyle of Newcastle. Maybe it's Luke Greenbank, who I still think is the man to maybe replace Chris ultimately, but is he going to do it here? No, he's not, because Nicholas Pyle's going to win this one. 25.63, all right on the cusp. 1/100th outside of his entry time. Chris just doing what he had to do in the morning, really, to make the final, but Nicholas Pyle has beaten the British #1, Chris Walker-Hebben. Luke Greenbank, I keep thinking, is going to have an emerging year, because he's been there or thereabouts. We need somebody in the 200 back. Is he the man? Is Luke Greenbank going to be the man to be the James Goddard, Gregor Tate of the future?
I think so. I said that the same. I thought Craig McNally at one stage a few years ago was going to do exactly the same. He kind of emerged on the scene, and then same with Luke. And Luke is now training under Mel Marshall at Loughborough with Adam and some of those guys. And he's a very tall guy as well, which should definitely help him. But I think Luke's had an impressive 200 metres backstroke. Don't necessarily think 50's his forte here, but definitely on the 100 and 200. Again, it's a really tough selection policy when you look at it. The times for 200 back, it's the same with the men's 200 fly. There really are tough times to just even make the team, but hopefully Luke will keep progressing, and obviously Mel Marshall's a fantastic coach, so he's in the right place to do that.
Yeah, hopefully if anybody can, she can, and he can with her as things progress, because there's been a bit of a void, a bit of a chasm with the 200 back for men for a little bit of a while now. 400 metres individual medley for women up next, and I'll make sure I find out exactly how many we've got of this. We've got 5 heats, and we'll see Maria Belmonte in heat number 5. We'll see Hannah Miley in heat number 4, and we'll see Amy Wilmot in heat number 5 with Belmonte as well. Juniors, though, first, and trying to improve on their entry times. Mia Leach of City of Peterborough goes in 1. Rebecca Sutton, these are all juniors, by the way. First 4 names I'm going to mention. Rebecca Sutton of City of Cardiff. Then we have Ailsa McDonald of Northampton. And the 14-year-old from Nova Centurion is Freya Colbert. Oldham's Molly Roodhouse. And then Amy Kilcorran of Kingston upon Hull. And Daisy Platts of City of Leicester. Now, there used to be a time where you could actually do the IM with one slightly dodgy stroke. You know, your breaststroke might be a bit, but I always think if your breaststroke's poor, you can't do the IM, because the breaststroke is such a pivotal stroke, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the IM. There was a time where, I mean, Hannah Miley will always admit that she's never had all 4 strokes going as she would like at the right time. So she'll work on something. Sometimes she'll say to the detriment of something else, because her breaststroke used to be quite poor. She worked really hard on her breaststroke. Her breaststroke then turned out to be one of her best strokes. And then she goes, oh, but I neglected the butterfly, so I had to go back and look at my butterfly, which then had an adverse effect on her breaststroke.
I actually almost wish there was an 800 metres IM, because Hannah would be amazing
She
at
would,
that.
wouldn't she?
Hannah would absolutely win every Olympic medal in 800 metres medley. She just would, because put the 200s together and Hannah is an absolute storm. But that would be a long race.
Well, again, we've got lots of suggestions to put to the IOC and to
no, that would be a long race.
FINA. Can we have the 50s in the Olympics? And
no,
we have
just
the 4x2?
We'll stick with the 50s for definite. But yeah, it is one of those. We mentioned this last night, that 400 medley, I think, is one of the hardest events on the programme, because it's so technical. It changes so much. It's like you say, you used to might be able to possibly get away with it, but not anymore. You've got to have 4 very, very strong strokes, which is really, really tough to do, and kind of have to do from a very young age. Good turns. You've got to have that mix of speed and endurance. It is such a hard event.
I love the way it changes.
I don't. It gives me heart palpitations when I'm watching it.
I love it. It's a little bit like the equivalent in the Paralympics of the points race, where you know that you'll get your S9s and then your S10s and then your S7s. And you go, yeah, but we know we're going to catch up on this because we've got an S10 coming next, and things will change.
Somebody's just commented on the Facebook saying 800 IM.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not suggesting it. Don't worry.
No, we think it's a great idea. And I think it's a fantastic idea.
I just think Hannah would be amazing at
she
it.
would.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but yeah. Did you really want a 200 butterfly in the middle of that? Ooh.
Well, it wouldn't be the middle, it would be the start, wouldn't
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think any other athlete would do it apart from Hannah.
Well, in which case she'd be our gold medalist. It's fantastic. She'd get a gold medal at every event then, wouldn't she? But yeah, I don't know what that's going to be extensive. It's a bit like saying we have the 400 metres breaststroke.
Yeah, no.
You know.
I know, but you're right. The breaststroke, I think, for Hannah has become like she's posted a very, very good 200 metres breaststroke time. She's very good. I mean, you have to have a really good breaststroke to be able to do 400 medley. Maybe that's why I was always rubbish at it as well.
But it shows how the race can change, though, doesn't it? In terms of, you know, the gap that's now opened up. It was pretty even after the butterfly. Now the breaststroke has just completely opened up the field, and we've got a swimmer who's dominating from the front now.
Well, I don't think anyone is catching Freya, which is seriously impressive.
14,
At 14
yeah.
as well. She is absolutely storming this, and she's probably, you knew Hannah Miley maybe in a few years to come, Freya. She's had a fantastic race so far. No one's even come close to her.
4:58.93 is her entry time. Now, what could she do here in terms of beating that? Well, she's going to beat it. 4:58 is going to go because there's nobody else in the screen. There's nobody else actually in our picture. She is. Look at the gap between her and the second swimmer, who is Rebecca Sutton of Cardiff. Let's see what the gap is in terms of time. Right, 4:22. I reckon there's about 5 seconds, maybe more, between first and second.
Yeah.
7 seconds.
It's huge.
Massive gap. Well, this is massively impressive.
It's so hard as well to back a 400 medley up with the final tonight because it takes so much out of you. And hopefully for Freya, this is great experience. Obviously, she's going for that European junior time as well. So at 14, she's got a whole career ahead of her, but she's had a fantastic swim here.
Well, 4:58 it was. 4:55 it is now. 4:58.93 made that 4:55.70. So she has taken 3 seconds and a bit more off her personal best. The only swimmer to go sub 5 minutes. And she won that in the end by 8 seconds.
Not bad.
No, not bad. Rebecca Adlington, mistress of the understatement. Very good, very good. Thank you for all your communications, by the way. We'll get fully up to speed with your interactions with us as the day goes by. As you can imagine, it's been a little bit kind of makeshift and mend this morning, I suppose you could say, in terms of us getting here and the operation, but we'll be fully up to speed this afternoon, so we'll be able to interact with you a bit more over the next 4 days. But thank you very much indeed, with people sending in questions saying, is Rebecca Adlington okay, suggesting about a 4x2 relay?
No, I want an 800 IM.
Oh, well, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not going to petition for that.
No. Okay. I'm not sure you get too many takers either. No. All right, on to the second heat of the women's 400 metres individual medley. And we've got Gaia Alcaraz of Aberdeen in 1, Melanie Hall of City of Sheffield in 2, Megan Sheard of Stockport Metro in 3, Molly Wright of Nova Centurion 4, Katie Shanahan of City of Glasgow, another 14-year-old. So we better watch for these up-and-coming 14-year-olds. She's in lane 5. Madeline Hardingham of Newcastle in 6, Ali Larson of Camden Swiss in 7, and Ellie Turner of Carnegie in lane 8. Fastest in the field is the oldest in the field at 20, the Nova Centurion swimmer Molly Wright with a 4:55. But in fact, pretty much apart from Gaia Alcaraz, everybody else around about the 4:55, 4:56 mark. Let's see how they are at the first 100. And Melanie Hall of City of Sheffield leads after the first 100.
I think this lead will definitely change quite a few times. I mean, Molly, who is the fastest entry, I think turned in 8th there, so maybe her better strokes are the breaststroke and freestyle, and even with Hannah, you see that with Hannah Miley all the time when she races. It's that, you know, I never panic if Hannah's like kind of near the back. I never ever panic when it comes to the butterfly, because I know she'll come right through on that breaststroke as well. But yeah, it does make an interesting race, doesn't it? But it does give me heart palpitations when I'm watching it like an Olympics or things. I'm like, come on.
I panic when backstrokers get too close to the lane rope, and I was getting a bit worried there about Melanie Hall, because she was right. She's now moved more central. She's actually moving back into the centre, but going down there, her arm was virtually on the lane rope.
Was she doing a secret pull?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think she was doing that. I think she suddenly realised how close she was, and then got the old sat-nav readjusted and realigned, because she was getting a bit close, and she was our leader at 100. I think that may well have changed at 200, because the backstroke is separating them all out. It's going to be lane number 5, Katie Shanahan, who's going to be at the halfway stage, our leader from City of Glasgow. Melanie Hall still up there, though, in second place. Third is Ellie Turner of Carnegie. And now on to the one that I think sorts them all out. It's the breaststroke that ultimately decides the outcome of a 400 IM.
Sorts them all out.
Yes,
I think
it does. Because I don't think you can do an IM these days without a really good breaststroke. Because the changes, the transition in the breaststroke are so marked compared to the other 3 strokes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the freestyle as well, I think it is one of those that if you have a good last leg, if you're in front or whatever, just, yeah, I always compare it to used to seeing James Goddard do the medley, and his freestyle always just used to, bless him, just used to make me panicked. I was like, come on, because he would just die.
Because his backstroke was great, his breast wasn't bad, and his butterfly was excellent. So, yeah. And that's odd, because normally front crawl is a stroke that pretty much everybody can do to a certain extent. But you're right, he worked his way through the gears, and then, oh my God, I've arrived at the front crawl. What do I do now?
I guess, how does that work though? Because Michael Phelps, I wouldn't say his breaststroke was his weakest.
It was his weakest. And again, he worked on that. That's what I'm saying. Because that was the point. He knew full well that if his breaststroke stayed the way it was, he wasn't going to win Olympic titles. So he worked on it with Bob Bowman.
I'd probably say it was Ryan Lochte his weakest as well, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. But again,
they didn't do bad, did they?
No, they didn't do bad, but they also recognised the fact that they couldn't win major events if their breaststroke was as poor as it was in the early stages. So they had to up that by 10% or more to get there, because other people would just overpower them in the breaststroke, give themselves too much to do at the back end. This race is looking like it's a bit of a, I say pedestrian, certainly not pedestrian in terms of time, but it looks like a bit of a procession as far as Katie Shanahan's concerned. She took over at 200 and looks like she will not be headed. So we need to look and see what her time is. Again, we're talking about a 14-year-old here. This is very exciting for the future. All these 14-year-olds suddenly posting excellent times. And this one, 4:56.89. It's going to be close. It's going to be close if she can beat her personal best, but it's a very, very impressive swim by the City of Glasgow swimmer, Katie Shanahan. Not going to quite hit the 4:56 here, but she won't be too far outside it. 4:58.04. Second place to Melanie Hall, who pretty much was second all the way through, apart from that early part where she led. And she has gone under 5 minutes, which she has done once before. And third place to Gayara Karas, who's right at the back of the field from Aberdeen Performance. She finishes in third place.
You've got to be pleased with that. Morning swim. They've got the finals tonight. Obviously, like we've been saying all morning, there is junior finals, there's B finals and open finals and everything else. So, yeah, you've got to take that for a morning swim.
3 more heats to come. Tori Sopp of Wirral goes in 1. And the juniors, Lily Booker of City of Bristol, Kiana McInnes of Heart of Midlothian in 3. Georgia Coates, so you're not a junior anymore, from Bath in 4. Michaela Glenister of City of Leicester. Amelia Monaghan of City of Peterborough in 6. Rebecca Klein of Leeds in 7. And Tara Howarth of Edinburgh University goes in 8. In terms of the fastest in the field, not much to separate Georgia Coates with a 4:53.2. And Michaela Glenister of City of Leicester with a 4:53.7. All of these swimmers have done sub 4:56.
I think we'd expect Kiana to go out in front, obviously being a bit more of a butterfly swimmer. But like I say, we need to watch to see what her breaststroke's like, don't we?
We do.
Seeing as now I've realised that it's breaststroke is the key.
Are you taking the mickey? Are you taking the mickey?
Not at all.
Okay, right. Now,
I agree with you.
Over kind of 20 years, I've always thought that if you can't, you can get away with slightly substandard other versions of strokes, but if you don't have a decent breaststroke, then you just see people come shooting past you. You know, and then you go, oh my God, I've got loads to do now to catch up again. You know.
Maybe we need to get Adam Peaty doing 400 iron. Maybe 200. We'll stick to 200.
I like seeing him do the 200 again, but is that going to happen?
He's doing that. I think he's doing the 200 breast this week.
He is doing it, right. Because remember, he nearly made the World Championships on the 200, missed out by about a fingernail for 2013.
Yeah, I think he did it at the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, didn't he? So, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because he's now kind of finely tuned and finely honed for the 100 and 50. I just wonder whether kind of the work they do in terms of what they do out of the pool is so geared up for the 50 and the 100, whether his body could adapt to that now.
Yeah, I think he's broke that 50 metres breaststroke world record by too much to turn back now.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to ditch that, but it's a question whether he can add the 200 to that. We're on the backstroke leg now, and that's starting to change things just a little bit as we look at lane 4 at the front of the field. And lane 1 as well. Tori Sopp in 1. Might just get there first. She does. 2:21.08 at the halfway stage. Second place to Georgia Coates, who I expect on the breaststroke to come back here. Let's see whether my prediction is right. There she is with the... what do you call that?
Baby blue?
Baby blue, that's probably the best description. I was trying to think what colour that is, really. But look, on your telly, it probably looks a bit grey. But I think it is baby blue. But there you are. For once in my life, I think I've got something right. Since she come back on the breaststroke. And there she is.
You've been right all morning, Bob.
No, not often. Not often. Sometimes. More hit and miss, I think, but still. But Georgia Coates knows she's got a really good breaststroke, and that's seen her power through and give herself a lead over 50 of 2 seconds. So she was back in second place.
We know she's got a good freestyle as well.
Yeah, so the back end of her race, her breaststroke and her freestyle are excellent. So from here on in, you expect her to power on to win this.
Amelia's coming back at her as well. She's obviously a breaststroker. Yeah.
Amelia Monaghan. Celia Peterborough in lane number 6. Yeah, she's coming right alongside, as you can see. Well, I know that kind of foreshortens the picture a bit. She's not quite as close as that may look. There'll still be a bit of a gap between Georgia Coates and Amelia Monaghan. Probably about body length and a bit. 3:54.79 is 3:47.03, but you expect Georgia Coates to go on and win this from lane 4. And probably the way things are looking, our Plymouth swimmer will come through for second place. Amelia Monaghan, the best time for Georgia, 4:53.27. Amelia Monaghan with a 4:55.71. She is catching her just a little bit, and also catching her is Michaela Glenister of City of Leicester, who's gone into third place on that split.
I can hear someone shouting.
Did you bring the baby with you?
No.
A little crash out the back for Rebecca. Somebody's not enjoying what they're seeing, obviously. It's not that bad. Take them away.
I think they're just excited.
Yes.
Someone's doing well. Go.
Then you're in the building. That's what it is. So Georgia Coates comes in to round this one off. 4:53.48 is actually just outside her personal best. Monaghan with a 4:56.01. Likewise, just missing out, and Michaela Glenister with a 4. We've disappeared off the screen there. 4:58.76. So 3 under 5 minutes. On to heat number 4. Oh, she's back again. Hannah Miley. You can't keep her quiet, can you? She's with kind of an event that we know her best for. And She's going in lane number 4. Still the British record holder. What's the time of the British record?
A 31, maybe?
Good, good.
4:31?
4:31.33
Ah.
for Hannah Miley, which was set in Rome. So that's 9 years ago. Rome, 2009, she set that.
The thing is, Hannah's always been around kind of there or thereabouts. She's always posting 31, 32, 33s. Even if she thinks she's had a bad year, it's not.
No. The problem is that it has been moved on to, you know, 4:24, 25 now, and that's the problem. Got to find that 5 seconds from somewhere, and we're going to find that 5 seconds, which is what was pretty much her undoing in Rio, wasn't it? That she was so close, so close to getting a medal. You know, it was there were a few of the heartbreak stories, I thought, from Rio, and hers was one of them.
Oh, my heart broke for Hannah last year at the World Championships.
Yeah, there too,
and
as well,
just, absolutely broke for her. She just, normally Hannah is so smiley, smiley Miley, and she's just so positive and just balls of energy and fun. And she came out of that race and just, her heart was just broken, and she just openly said it just wasn't good enough. And yeah, I just wanted to give her a big hug, bless her. It wasn't nice seeing her that way. And the great thing with Hannah is she's the most resilient swimmer I think I've ever known, Hannah. She's a tough cookie, but she just, she goes away, she puts things right, and she just does what she needs to do. She comes back fighting every single time.
And there will be those, and there's those who've asked me this question. I haven't asked her because I think it's impolite to do so, why she carries on. Because some people say, right, okay, Rio is the right time for you to go. But she obviously still has designs on being in Tokyo in 2 years' time.
I think, why not? I mean, she's still kind of topping the British rankings, as you'd say. She's kind of still winning championships. She's still making finals at international meets. I think it's one of those that I think you've got to just love what you do. And I think Hannah is one of those people that she's a great ambassador for the sport in that way, because she loves swimming, and she absolutely loves the training element. And for Hannah, like you say, she's never really had a 50-meter pool, and she's tried different things here and there. She's tried different coaches, different clubs, different everything. It's probably just never fell in the right time. And I think the worst thing for an athlete is when you retire and you wonder, what if? And I don't think Hannah ever wants to look back on her career and go, what if I had done that? She doesn't want to leave any stone unturned. So fair play to her.
Yeah, I know she talked about going into maybe veterinary work when she gives up swimming. I know she's got a big interest in looking after animals and things like that. So she'll have a great future, whatever she does, I'm sure, outside of swimming. But that is not happening for quite some time. So she told me in Rio, after that race, the day after that race, the 400 IM in there, she said, I'm going to go to Tokyo.
I think the thing is, especially in the 400 medley, we've seen some great guys up and coming. Rosie Rudin, Abby Wood here. We've just seen 2 14-year-old girls winning their events, and actually the event is getting much stronger. It's predominantly always just been Hannah and Amy. That's all we've seen, Hannah and Amy Wilmot, Hannah and Amy Wilmot, whereas now there's a lot more people coming onto the scene and kind of making a name for themselves. I mean, Abby's having a fantastic race here, swimming amazing, and obviously she's on the Commonwealth Games team, and she's still only 19 years of age. And it doesn't, obviously Amy and Hannah aren't old, but Amy is 25, Hannah is 29. So at the same time, you've kind of at one point, well, not hopefully, but them youngsters will move past them.
Right, let's see how she finishes this race off. Hannah Miley, that is, because she has dominated it on the backstroke, on the butterfly, on the breaststroke now, and what are you spotting?
That's Abby.
Oh, it's Abby. I'm miles away. I was talking to you too much, not paying attention, wasn't I? Abby Wood of Loughborough University with a 4:37, by the way, in terms of her entry time. Hannah with a 4:43. And, Abby Wood with designs on being the next Hannah Miley or next Amy Wilmot.
I think Hannah is doing 25 million events here, though.
Yeah.
We've already seen her in the 200 freestyle. We have got the finals tonight, so I'm sure Hannah is just doing what she needs. But Abby's had a fantastic race here.
Let's see what time she can do. As I say, 4:37.25 is entry time. Hannah, of course, has done a 4:31 before now. That's the British record. What's Abby going to show us this morning? 4:44.30 for her, so it's about 6 seconds. Obviously, she knows she's going to make it to a final tonight, as indeed does Hannah. So not a busting again. And there will be a DQ for Sophie Wilson. Sophie Wilson's going to get a DQ here. I imagine it's probably on the breaststroke. But I can't give you details of that, but we do have a DQ. Now it's come on lane number 8. I can tell you that before it even comes up on the screen. So heat number 5, when we get to it, will contain Maria Belmonte of Spain, Amy Wilmot, the British number 2, and Rosie Rudin of Sheffield. And it's good company to be keeping that for Rosie. She'll have Belmonte in the adjoining lane, Amy Wilmot 2 lanes up for her. I think she might want to race them this morning. I think she might. She's got 4:36 entry time. There's Amy and 4:38 for Rosie. So, checking that everybody is there that should be there. They are. Candice Hall of Loughborough in 1. Jimena Perez of Spain in 2. Rosie Rudin, I mentioned, of City of Sheffield in 3. Maria Belmonte of Spain in 4. Amy Wilmot, University of Stirling in 5. 6 is Amber Keegan of City of Sheffield. 7, Chiara Schlossen of City of Leeds. And Daisy Anderson of Thanet Swim goes in lane 8. This is the final heat of the morning session.
See, I wouldn't say Belmonte, just testing your theory here, Bob, has got a massively strong breaststroke. I mean, Butterfly and Freestyle.
You're shooting me down in flames already here, aren't you?
I just think Butterfly and Freestyle are obviously her strongest legs. To give credit to her, her breaststroke isn't bad at all, is it? But it's not necessarily her strongest. Same with Amy, to be fair. Amy's done a lot of work on her breaststroke because, again, Amy is very good at Butterfly, Freestyle. But her kind of, I would say Amy's probably more backstroke and breaststroke are her weaker ones as well.
Right, but you did concede that she'd been working on it.
Yes,
there you go. Right. Okay, we'll meet halfway on this, shall we? It's like we're putting Christmas crackers here. I'll take that bit, you take that bit. I've got the toy, you've got the hat.
Well, Rosie's really given Belmonte a run for her money. She's definitely, like you said, wanting a good race this morning.
Now, I've seen her swim quite a bit over the last few months. Well, we did the Northeast Counties Championships early in the year, and she's a racer. She really is, and she'll look around and go, I know you're an Olympic medalist, Olympic champion and stuff like that, and I know that you're number 2 in Britain, but do you know what? I'm no respecter of any kind of reputation. I want to go for it. And that's what she's doing right here.
That's definitely what we need more in this country, I think. And I think that's somebody like Duncan Scott does so well. Steps on the international scene, isn't scared that somebody is Olympic champion. And we've seen that at Olympics and Worlds with Duncan. And that's what some of these youngsters need, to not kind of be a deer in headlights when they step up at a major meet. And it's great that Rosie has that mentality and alongside some of the other youngsters and the rookies, should we say, on the team.
So Rosie's entry time at 4:38. I think she'll be trying to get as close to that this morning as she possibly can be. Sure, Russ Barber is looking on to see how his charges are getting on.
She's working very hard here, though.
And alongside her, in the adjoining lane, is Belmonte's terrible breaststroke.
Not terrible. Just not her favourite. Don't put words in my mouth, Bob. Don't put words in my mouth.
Now it's looking all right. She's catching up. Where's Amy, though? Amy's not in the picture at the moment. Coming through in lane 5, but she's quite a way back. She's already had a race this morning, but she's a little bit off the pace. Now, Rosie Rudin will be aware that there's the massive presence of the Spaniard in the adjoining lane, and probably the back end of her race, certainly a freestyle, will be better than Rosie's.
It should be, shouldn't it? I think it's interesting because where everyone is at different stages of their training, there is still 5 weeks to go for the Commonwealth Games. For somebody probably a bit more like Amy and Hannah, they wouldn't have even rested back at all. They'll still be training really, really hard through this, but some of the other guys, they'll kind of maybe have had 1 or 2 days rest, and then some of the younger junior guys that are going for their European juniors, and this is their British champs, will have fully tapered. So we're going to see a few kind of things like Amy not really being amongst the race at this point, just because they are still in heavy training. It isn't the right time for them to fully rest back. So, and everyone responds differently to mid-season racing, I always say. Someone like Adam Peter, you guarantee him he'll always race well, but not everyone responds like that.
Well, as we suspected, Maria Belmonte has taken over the front of the field. Rosie Rudin finding it hard to keep track with her. But let's see what kind of time she can post here. So her entry time is 4:38. She turns in a 4:14. She ain't going to do 24 coming back. Unlikely.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
Yeah. But she'll save all that for tonight. She knows that Belmonte is the stronger over the back end of the race. All she wants to do is try and get a good time and, of course, finish second, which she looks like she's going to do. Belmonte with plenty in reserve, it would seem, easing up for the finish. 4:44 without really even breaking sweat. And 4:47 for Rudin. Is a little bit shy of what she's done before, but so she'll be saving her best for the final later. And third place going to Amy Wilmot at 4:50.
They don't even look out of breath.
No, I mean, obviously that is very slow by Amy's standards, but you know, that will still be enough to get her in the final later, I'm sure. Winning time 4:44.32 for Belmonte, and we'll just wrap up the fastest times. Actually, fastest time of the morning, Abby Wood. 4:44.30, just beating Belmonte by 2/100ths. Alamani third fastest, Rudin and Amy Wilmot sneaking in there in 7th place with a 4:58. And plenty of this we'll see in B finals later and junior finals as well. 12:30 today, we'll have the other heats for you, and the finals will start. Our coverage of the finals will start at 4:45. Outstanding swim in the morning for you. What do you think?
I think Lizzie Simmons on that 50
That's
back.
good, wasn't it?
Yeah, she just looked totally in control. Great start, and I love it when I see Lizzie swimming really well. So yeah, Lizzie for me.
All right. Well, we'll have the finals for you tonight, and of course the other heats and other races for you at lunchtime today. Thank you to Rebecca Radlington. This is Bob Ballard signing off. Look forward to your company later on today. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.